Yeah, we find her, the beautiful girl we've been missing. We wanna have her kissing. We find her, now we in love. So I got the remix.
D&B, Tux Bites, remix.
Now if I had to lose you like a bad phone connection, I'd change my game to get a better reception. Sit back, let's start this interaction. Don't fight the feelings, just a chain reaction. Your heart won't give you the wrong instructions. Like my GPS, yes, I got the right direction. We gotta merge together like a road intersection. Last stop is gonna be my love and affection. I ain't like the mother dudes, they wanna call you shorty, but I'ma call you a beautiful girl. I took your picture home, my mama saw it, she's a very, very beautiful girl. I wanna put you in my video, cause you're so beautiful. You're a beautiful girl. So when you hear us in your radio, turn up your stereo. It's beautiful girl.
Gotta find a shorty, what's worth of a lady. It's nice, but maybe doesn't look like 40. It's taking a little time. I wasn't seeing no signs, any traces of my baby. Who's gonna be my baby? But I thought I'm gonna take my time. Within it took a long fun eye. I saw a shorty passing by. She's got this very pretty smile. It was right at the bus station. I tried to make a conversation, holding her arms, feeling so tough. I felt this sensation. It's been a while that I've been trying to find a beautiful girl. And now I realize I found me a beautiful girl. She's a model, she's so fine. I just wanna take it by. Beautiful girl, sparkling eyes, a killing thigh. I found me a beautiful girl.
My wish came true when I saw you, girl. God must have blessed me with your beauty, girl. Looking so right from your head to your toe. Shaped like a Coke bottle with a smile of a queen. My queen to be, you my destiny. Got a body of a goddess with your beauty. I'm impressed and I'm never in distress. Come on over and be mine. Been searching for a man and now all the cats keep looking to mine. With a sexy walk and a sexy talk, she must be from a planet called the sexy world. I know I ain't tripping, better yet I'm thinking put a ring on the finger, we look good together. Take your place in my heart with your beauty. I'ma say that I'll never turn away. Who would think I'm in love?
So the way she smiles at me just really makes me weak. The way she speaks to me just really make me go so weak. Keep staring in her eyebrows. All I kept on saying is wow. Your beauty shines and breeze at night. All I really want in my life. Oh yeah. It's been a while that I've been trying to find a beautiful girl. Fine brown eyes. I found me a beautiful girl. She's my model, she's so fine. I just wanna take it. Beautiful girl, sparkling eyes, killing thigh. I found me a beautiful girl. Yeah, beautiful girl, beautiful girl. Yeah. Beautiful girl.
Damn. Money, you seen her? Hot Ice, have you seen her? LP, have you seen her? I'ma go over to Tux Bites. I know you've probably seen her. He has a lot of beautiful girls with him. Tux, it's D&B, baby. Look,
Beautiful.
I look for a while, but I can't seem to find a beautiful girl so I can make her mine. Time after time, I've been searching for a while, but every girl I meet never seems worthwhile. What can I do? I pray to God for an answer. I feel pains in my heart like cancer, and when I find her, I'm gonna romance her. Lace several presents and gifts. Call me Santa Claus. I make a heartbeat pause. That's my girl, homeboy, not yours. The girl of my dreams, she's more than I ever thought. Show me ass and culture. I think I'm getting punked. She's what I really want, so I'ma go get her. Since I'm a go getter, you know I'm gon' get her. And I will give her the world, anything for my beautiful girl.
Psych. Ooh. It's been a while that I've been trying to find a beautiful girl. Fine brown eyes. I found me a beautiful girl. She's my model, she's so fine. I just wanna take it. Beautiful girl, sparkling eyes, killing
your love that I've been missing. I miss all your hugs, your touching and kissing. Make love on the floor, the couch in the kitchen. One love enough, we done enough.
Man of prestige. Ha! Now this guy win. Now you win. Now you win today. Now you win. Now you win. I agree. Man of prestige. Now man you be.
I'm sure some people will be jealous now the way I talk about Ola. But I have learned a lot from him. That's why I keep telling you to follow him. If you don't follow Man of Prestige, now you know.
Yo, what's going on? Welcome back to Man of Prestige. What's going on, Prestige family? Welcome. Hit that like button as you're coming in. Hit that like button. I appreciate you for being here. As usual, I am live. As usual, we're going to have a good time today. We're going to review what is trendy out there that has anything to do with relationships, and we're going to do our best to extract lessons from them. My name is Ola. I'm coming to you live from my Empire Pro Studios. Let me just check the audio, make sure everything is good. All right, we're good. What's going on? As you're coming in, hit that like button, share, subscribe, turn up your notifications, and that's how we make sure you're notified when I do go live, when I do drop videos. We're dropping a lot of videos, reels, and stuff like that. I know you're probably having a hard time to catch up. It is okay. It's better that you're having time to catch up than there's no content to watch. We found that it is better. Okay, so pardon me, we're going to continue to extract all these lessons, but more importantly, just do me a favor, make sure you're watching as much as you can and make sure you're sharing. Okay, area not to alpha, how you day? Hope you're having a good weekend. All right, so we have a big show today. Okay, so make sure that you're hitting that like button to ping everyone else into the room. All right, and like I said, my name is Ola. Shout out to all my sponsors, of course. Natu, More Fresh, Richie, This Swafim Girl, Open Floor by Tima, Show Mama, Gorex Corner, D Love. Thank you so much for sponsoring the show. This month was a little rough for us because I was away and all that kind of stuff, you know. But I want to say thank you so much. Nonetheless, we're looking for today's sponsor. Today, even this month, as slow as it is, we still managed to get up to $90.57. That's even up from last time. But we're looking for today's sponsor. So the goal every month for now is $1,000. Well, not every month, but this month it was supposed to be $1,000. But I appreciate you. Thank you so much. You're hitting the like button, you're sharing, you're subscribing, you're coming back. That is more than enough. Okay, anything else is highly appreciated. I want to say thank you for that. Like I said, hit that like button, share, subscribe, turn up your notifications. And yes, what we come here to do is we talk about relationships. Okay, but we use trendy topics to extract relationship-based lessons, particularly from self-power, social, seduction, attraction, emotional intelligence standpoint. That's what we do here. So we kind of tend to stay away from anything too provocative, anything that's judgmental in nature. We just try to just extract the lessons, and nonetheless, you know, these are very sensitive topic, and sometimes it can be offensive, you know. So I'm just warning you up front to trigger a lot, okay? Because these are relationships. Everyone experiences different. So it is what it is, you know. But a lot of people are testifying that they're learning a lot from this platform. I want to say thank you to anyone that's ever sent me any testimony behind the scenes. I get them all the time. I want to say thank you. I appreciate you. All right, if you haven't done so, you can get this book for free. Okay, loveandprestige.com, and you can get on the waiting list for this one. We're going to be launching this one in about a little bit over 30 days from now. It's a lot of work. We're working on it. We're actually working on the audiobook right now, trying to clean it up, make sure it's clean. All right. All right. So with that being said, don't forget to join the behind the scenes conversations. Okay. Every now and then we just wake up, we just para, and then sometimes we slow down. Right now it's kind of slow, but nonetheless, you can join the conversation at lolaanola.com/WhatsApp, and you can see the links in the descriptions as well. Links to everything we offer, the products, the whatever, anything you might be looking for me is probably in the description. All right, we're working. Chinye Alpha, how you doing? What's going on? Welcome back. All right, so today we have a big show. Okay, we're gonna be talking about Davido's. The main topic, I guess, the headline is Davido's Aide Isreal, but we have a few other things that I want to touch on, as usual. All right, so without any further ado, let's get on to it. I will be right back.
Beautiful girl, sparkling night, killing thing. I find a beautiful girl.
Girl, it's your love that I've been missing. I miss all your hugs, your touching and kissing. Make love on the floor, the couch in the kitchen. One loving up, we done enough.
All right, welcome back. So let's start with Pastor Kingsley. Every now and then again, some people that I like what they kind of push out there, and especially if they're like a pastor, generally anything too religious I'm not really a big fan of. But if they found some kind of balance, and I feel like I can share on the message, I will do that, and I will add some context, particularly maybe from a more secular standpoint. But yeah, let's talk about Pastor Kingsley. Let me share my screen with you because we're going to do a little bit of reaction. Let's see here. Share screen. There you go. All right. Yes, let's talk about Pastor Kingsley. Pastor Kingsley is a relationship coach, relationship marriage coach / pastor, general overseer, all of that. So let's just play this video. Let's use this to warm up and let's get to it.
Are there girls that like cars here? You like cars? You know cars? Good. What kind of car do you like? Tell me like your dream car. Somebody you said Massaratti. Somebody say Range Rover. Massaratti, yes. Beautiful Italian car. Always has sweet seats. So let's picture. What's your name, darling? Moji. So let's picture Moji. Somebody buys you one convertible white Masserati.
Now, I'm not a big fan of using cars to describe relationships because I feel like some people just do a completely terrible job doing that, But he's talking about how many people like Masserati. I think the analogy is on point. Some people would just say, "What about if you go to the market and you buy a BMW? Would you want to come home and the BMW already have about 50,000 body counts on it?" Like, what's up about Willie?
With red seats, beautiful convertible. So you see the car parked, you have attraction. Am I correct? You have attraction. This car is fine. Then you enter the car, you feel good in the seats, you feel good in the car. Then they said, "Come for service." Then you.
All right, so he's talking about attraction. For me personally, I don't like the idea of discounting attraction in a relationship, but it's also very important that every now and then we point out that attraction, they're like, they go up and down, right? So obviously it's probably very, very strong when you're infatuated with the idea of spending life with another human being, right? When you're in love, right? So it's very high and it's not sustainable because at some point, see finish, go enter, right? So that's what he's talking about right now. You like that car, you like it, right? And yeah, but in order to maintain that level of likeness or to do anything even close to that at all, right? Because listen, once you start driving a car, it's just like the value of the car. It loses about 20%, they say, once you drive it off the lot, right? But even beyond that, right? Even if you try your best to maintain it, at some point, that car will get old. Everything in life gets old, right? But attraction with human beings is a little bit different, right? It's not going to be the same type of attraction you had in the beginning. It's one of the reasons why I don't like the analogy for the most part, but it still fits, right? It's going to be a different type of attraction as time goes on, right? It's actually better, more authentic, more sustainable, the different type of attraction that you can grow. But things will crash first before it takes off. If you are one of the lucky ones who have been privileged to know that you have to work on it, right? So he's talking about servicing the car. At some point you need to service the car.
You start the car and it doesn't start.
That fine car, red seat.
Did you see? So you start the car, it doesn't start. You push it still doesn't start. You pray over it still doesn't start. You change the engine, it doesn't start. How useful is that car to you? You see, before you started, before the need to move from one point to another came, you loved that car. Attraction-wise, it passed.
Right.
Emotion-wise, when you entered the car, even when your friends came, everybody loved the car.
All right. So here's what a lot of people do this time and age, right? When they're trying to preach on from the other extreme of the conversation, they might say things like, okay, duty, responsibility. I say, yes, duty and responsibility, as a matter of fact, is a default of life. And most people are going to engage the duty and responsibility that they need to sustain through life anyway, right? But yeah, in romantic relationship these days, a lot of people, particularly women, they fall in love with the idea of falling in love, right? So when it's time to actually do the work and service the work, you find out, well, this thing that you love so much will need servicing over time, right? Now somebody will no, all marriage was duty. And I was like, no. The attraction also was necessary. The person that staged a car in a showroom, right? And for you to fall in love and you sit all that red seat, all of that is necessary too, right? But just as much as that's necessary, at some point, that beautiful piece will need to be serviced, right? It's the same thing with attraction, right? So this is not to discount one and leave the other, right? Duty and responsibility is a necessary thing. Attraction is necessary. Now, especially when human beings are aware, when we're aware that we are attracted. See, it's different when people were not aware, when people just thought, when people just live the life of marriage, it's a duty, responsibility, arrangee marriage. Your father gave you to a guy who was a hard worker at the farm, right? He's like, I'm going to give you my daughter, because you're a hard working man, you will take care of gone are those days, okay? Does it still happen? I'm sure somewhere, there's some exceptions somewhere. But generally speaking, that's not going to happen anymore. People need to be attracted, not just in the beginning. As a matter of fact, it's something you have to sustain and maintain over time. Let's continue.
Just that it doesn't move. The first 1 week, people will not feel so bad that your car can't move. They'll say to move one day. Then 1 month will pass, the car can't move. Then every day we have an event, you can't bring the car. They say, would you just ride in your car to church? You can't move the car. You see, function is missing. After a while, Moji, you will divorce that car.
Duty, responsibility, function is missing after a while. So, by the way, the same thing with attraction too. If attraction is dwindling down, eventually something's going to give, right? But if you're not functioning, like in every area, right? If the idea of functionality is missing, and let me add this, particularly from the standpoint of the beholder. So you might even disagree. If they don't feel, okay, if they can't perceive that this whole thing is functional, yeah.
Whether or not you want to divorce it, whether or not people are clapping for you that you got the car, you will divorce it. You might divorce it in secret. But there's no way that marriage between you and that car is going to continue. Because the main function
if you continue, just show each other shege for no reason.
Of a car, moving you from point A to point B, is not there. And at that time, you find that people that have a Toyota are happier than you that have a Masserati. Are you see what happens in marriages? This is what happens in marriages. Some people have a Ferrari that doesn't work. And the guy with a Honda that works is happier.
Yeah, eventually, see, as you get older in life, you just start to appreciate the little things, right? That's just general, But I understand if younger people can't comprehend what I just said, okay? But as you get older, just take that to the bank and you can write that down somewhere. As you get older, the little things you start to value, I was watching earlier on, I'm not sure if it's here. Yeah, I was watching a small clip earlier from Michelle Williams, who used to be part of Destiny Child. And she was talking about what is success. you know? And this is a very popular question that continues to come up because, frankly, everyone's definition of success varies from people to people. At the end of that reel, she said, it's peace of mind. I couldn't agree anymore. It's peace of mind. Success is not successful marriage, ultimately, okay? Success is not money, like wealth or, it's not even necessarily physical health. It's peace of mind. That's ultimately what it is. Now, the younger you are, the harder it is for you to comprehend that. And that's okay. Okay. But as you gain that wisdom, continue to embrace it. That's the only thing that's also sustainable once you have it. In fact, appreciating what I just said, which is appreciating the idea that peace of mind is success, is the only thing that's really sustainable over time, because you do everything in your power to maintain that peace of mind. And then you will also understand when other people say, well, I'm willing to let you go, if that's what peace of mind means for me. Oftentimes I might say things like, if it becomes a matter of survival, people will do what they have to do, including do the wrong thing. If it becomes that, it is what it is, because people need to survive, right? It's a need. So, but how they interpret survival might be different from yours. You might just be gung-ho, attached to money. They might be like, nah, I don't care, like, right? But ultimately, peace of mind is what it is, and it depends on from people to people, So, yeah, that's that really quickly. Let me see here.
Because at the end of the day, we end in function. So it's not the attraction. Beauty will fade.
Beauty will fade.
Beauty is good, but it will fade. Charm or emotion, how I vibe and feel, is great, but it doesn't make. It's the function. That person's ability to meet your needs.
I could hear kind of semantics all over that, but I get what he's saying. He's absolutely correct, right? There's some things that are just aesthetic in nature, they fade. Okay? If your perception of it, like I see men who's like, I want to be with a woman, that that woman can, that she's more like a size 8, because I know that after she's born Pekin, once she has a child, she's going to get a little fatter. So I don't want to get her like, damn, that's what you're looking for. I get it if it's like a stream or something, like you want somebody that's healthy. I get it, but like, damn, if you have to voice it out like that, I don't know, man. I don't know. It's a struggle, So it's very true. Like anything that's aesthetic in nature. Hold on 1 second. So sorry about that. Anything that's aesthetic in nature can only last for so long. All right. And one of them is just beauty, right? Now, beauty is in the eyes of the beholder. Also, if you're with the right people, they just tend to age like wine. Has nothing to do with the aesthetic, the physical look of things, right? Same thing with money, right? Eventually, you start to realize that money follows value, not the other way around, right? And the same thing with power. You have to be careful when you have access to certain types of power. You have to be careful with that and make sure you're always finding your way to humility to balance that out. Because it's not always obvious. It's not the obvious one where you say, no, I'm a very humble people. People call me humble all the time. No, that's not relevant to what we're saying. It's like the same thing when we say respect. What does respect mean to you? What does love mean to you? There's a lot of ambiguity in that, right? But I guess the bottom line for all of that is we should remain a student of life and love and continue to pay more attention beyond just what is common sense, But yes, that's that right there. What else? I think I'll be right back. We have some more stuff to come. I told you it's going to be a big show. So we have more to come. I will be right back.
Beautiful girl, sparkling eyes, killing thing. I find a beautiful girl.
Girl, it's your love that I've been missing. I miss all your hugs, your touching and kissing. Me love on the floor, the couch in the kitchen. One loving up, we done enough.
All right, let's talk about Anthony O'Neal. Who knows? Anybody know who Anthony O'Neal is? You guys know who Anthony O'Neal is? Everybody? Anthony O'Neal. I'm waiting. Anybody know what that guy is? Real quick, 1 second here. This guy right here. Let me show you who I am talking about. Anthony O'Neal. Anthony O'Neal is a guy who preaches about money and stuff like that. This guy right here. So he released a short video on his channel. I follow him, you know. I think it's about, how old is Anthony O'Neal? About 38 years old or so. Never been married. I think he's been what do you call it? Engaged once upon a time. Let me see how old Anthony is. Anthony is can I tell? I think it's 38 or so. Trying to see right now. Let me see. It's somewhere between 35 and 40. Let's just say that. Okay. And he was engaged at one time. Okay. And it's no longer engaged now. Why do I see something that said was born in 1990? It's not 32. No, this guy is like 38, I think. Yeah, he's born he's 37 years old. It's born in 1986, something like that. More like something like that. But anyway, between 35 and 35. So he's talking about why he's not married, and I thought this would be a good one because, you know, oftentimes here, yes, from Dave Ramsey's show, exactly. What's going on, Mario? Right, so yeah, so he's talking about why he's not married in this video, and I thought we can learn from it, right? Because I do think that if you're 40 years old, never been married, and you want to be married, and it's not like there was a time that you never wanted to be married and you're not divorced, I think that's a red flag. I'm sorry. No, you're not you're not the devil. No, that's not what I meant. You're not from hell. No, that's not what I meant, I promise. Okay, I'm just saying, somebody's trying to get with you, they should probably look a little closer, you know. But wait, I thought wisdom comes with time. Yeah, so does coconut head. That also comes with time too, right? So if you're having some kind of, especially if it's very subconscious, very subtle in nature, level of coconut head, you know, those type that comes from the blind spot that you don't really see, like if you have a subconscious subtle struggle with compromise, yeah, marriage no go work, you know. And by the way, if you're a man, you probably will attract a lot of young ladies because you're matured, you're fully grown, you're in your quote-unquote prime, all of that, right? You probably have some money too, right? High tech enthusiast, tech professional, multiple six figures, right? But you're attracting all these girls and you don't know what's going on, right? Oh, yeah. You know, I could literally tell you for free, but no, I won't do that because that will be generalizing. It just depends on people to people, but I've found that over time, since I've been doing this, that this is a real thing, okay? Just something to pay. Red flag means something you should pay attention to. Okay, so maybe it's more of a yellow flag. As a matter of fact, I must try to see if I get one of my guys here to come and talk about yellow flags, you know, for December. We shall see. But remember, we do have a book coming out called The Number One Red Flag. So with that being said, let's see what Anthony O'Neal has to say about this topic. Let's see.
One of the reasons why I'm still not struggling in that space, I'm definitely moving forward, is because I want a place where I can be truly emotional with my woman. And I think that sometimes in relationships in the past, I've never felt like what you just said. I can talk about how I feel, because if I said how I really felt, I don't know.
All right. Already. Anthony, already, before we move too fast forward, already. Come
Stop
on.
the cap.
But I know what it means. All right. But gentlemen, I know what it means, okay? And I felt that way before. Because remember, you know, I'm just a brother just like you. Felt that way. It felt like, you can't really express your feelings, right? But usually in that same breath, you get to say, I feel like I can't say nothing. Like you just don't listen. Well, you're kind of like talking about your feelings in that point in time. But I get what you mean. You don't feel safe enough to tell your woman, right? And he's looking for a woman that will make him feel comfortable enough to speak their feelings. And I know what the ladies will say. The ladies like, you tell your feelings all the time. No. Stop the cap too, okay? Stop the cap, all right?
Stop the cap.
In fact, there are two girls that I might play their video right after this. That this, this bare minimum talking points, like that's just the bare minimum, right? That's part of it right there. If you feel like a man, you just do what he's supposed to be as a man and not complain. That's part of it. That's part of the issue. But issues are deeper, But the reason why a lot of people might feel like they can't speak their mind is because usually they lack the patience that's required to go along with that. Because remember, the other person is probably operating out of their feelings too, right? So if you don't have enough patience in your tank, yes, you will come back and tell us this story that Anthony Oli is telling us right now. Let's keep going.
If it's going to come off the right way to you. And so what I did was I acted strong and I'm like, no, I'm good. But really on the inside, let's be real, I was a little insecure about something. But
all right, so you were lying, which the best of us would do that as well. So you say, I'm good, but you're not really good. Okay, so you're lying. So I don't know how you would expect any type of good result from lying about your feelings, right? Again, I get it. You don't, like you just said, you don't feel like you're always watching, making sure it's going to land the proper way. So in order to avoid the truth, right? Let me just lie to her. I'm good, right? Well, what do you think is going to happen? You're going to build resentments over time. And then you can end up, resenting the whole process, right? And by the way, the older you get, the worse it gets with this kind of situation, because you're gathering more and more terrible experiences, usually terrible experiences, because that's what he's describing right now. You're gathering all these experiences from all this breakfast, right? All this heartbreak, as you say, right? And then you're expecting yourself to, does it get better with time or it gets worse? It gets worse. Because, quote unquote, proverbially, trauma, right? You're creating these bad experiences, they will become your reality over and over and over again, because you'll be looking around, you're just fearful, you're afraid for your life, just because you're trying to couple up with another human being to do life together. I completely understand him. So I might even take the excuse from him, like, okay, what are you going to do about that? Because it actually gets worse if you keep it there as just is, right? Let's continue.
I didn't feel as if it was a safe place to say, hey, I'm feeling this way. Can we set aside everything else and just talk about my feelings? And then once we understand my feelings, then let's come up with the solution. Normally it's, if I say I feel this way, sometimes men are attacked for how they're feeling.
Can you give me an example of that attack? Because I hear that a lot when they're just like,
Oh, she's brilliant. She is so brilliant. She said, can you give me an example of that attack? It's very easy to talk out of our ass. Like I might say things like 40 years plus never been married is red flag. That's talking out of my ass. At the end of the day, that's a generalization, right? Because it varies from people to people. But I can say, hey, from what I've seen, hey, in general, right? All right, so she said, you know what? No, give me an example. That's brilliant.
Use it against them, she'll attack them. So can you give me an example of what that actually looks like?
Let me find a safe one.
Because it's hard for me to believe that women are just running around here like, what you mean you sad?
No. Well, let me say
sad, you punk, you sad? I mean, what do you
Yo, punk for being sad.
mean by attack?
No, let me say this. It's not
okay.
It's not all women, but I'll definitely say this. So I was in a particular magazine, and they acknowledged me for being one of the top 40 under 40 influential black people in America. And at that time, I was with I'm trying to be very wise here how I say my words. I was with a particular woman who was in a relationship, and this is her exact words to me. She was making more money than me. And
all right, so let me pause that for a second. They said I'm trying to be very wise with how I choose my words, right? So it's actually doing it right now. This is normal behavior. Okay, well, this is a wise thing to do, to pick your words wisely. There's nothing wrong with you if you have to pick your words wisely, because he alluded to that earlier on when he was saying, well, I'm always trying to make sure that what I'm trying to say, my feelings, lands properly. Well, you should, and you should embrace that process, right? It's like when you demonize the act of trying to, making sure your word land properly, that's where you're struggling. But it's actually something you're supposed to do as a wise man. Like, make sure that your words are received properly, right? The message you're trying to pass along are actually received, right? See, you need to get that in your mindset first before you alter anything, because when you do that, then you can appreciate the process. Then you know that the process of waiting to make sure that your words are received are actually worth it, because you get to create good experience for not just the other person, but for yourself. Both of you will be on the same page, right? Hopefully they also do the same thing, but it doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things, because in life there is structure. There is God, there's man, there's woman, and there's children, right? So there is that structure anyway. So to whom much is given, much is required. If you're a leader, you're going to be required more, but you also get more in other ways. There's double standards on all sides, right? But if you appreciate what I just said, then you won't feel so frustrated if sometimes you have to be patient so that the other person can actually receive you well, especially if you're trying to play the leader in that context, right? Like what? Like just understand that that's how life is, right? But when you don't understand that, you resent the whole thing, then it's no wonder you feel like it's an attack, right? Now, I personally have not encountered a woman and said, "You speak your feelings, you're a punk." There's usually more nuances to what is actually going on, right? And if you have enough patience, it wouldn't be a big deal, right? And if you have enough patience, you would have gotten enough results to be able to appreciate every time you have to do that all over again, right? But if it's your first time, it's your second time, and then you quit, and then or somebody quits, or it just gets really, really bad. I understand where it's coming from, right? But it's stuff that needs to be worked on, because time is not anybody's mate.
He said, that's nothing. I expect you to do that. You're a man. So and this is her exact words to me. She was making.
So you don't lose your train of thought. Remember, he was featured as 40 under 40, top 40 under 40 in the magazine. He does very well for himself, right? As a brand. And basically, he's looking forward to some kind of appreciation from his fiancée at the time. And that's what he's talking about right now.
And at that time, I was with, I'm trying to be very wise here, how I say my words. I was with a particular woman who was in a relationship, and this is her exact words to me. She was making more money than me, and she said, that's nothing. I expect you to do that. You're a man. So I simply, when she said that, I said, yeah, I got you. But internally, I was looking for my woman to like, babe, that's a huge accomplishment. Babe, I'm so proud of you. Babe, like, I back you. But because she was already successful, she was like, boy, I'm already winning. You need to be winning. That's good. Do your thing. But it's like, there was no... And here's the thing that flipped me. My mama called me. My pastor called me. My sister called me. But the woman who I'm trying to...
You see why I call them red flags now, right? This is why I call them red flags. What he's describing is a big deal. Okay? It's a big deal that can backfire in about 50,000 different ways in a romantic relationship. Right? Now, ladies, I keep telling you, a man's love language, a big chunk of that is just appreciation, no matter how little, right? Just because men don't get enough of that. So it's just that big when they get it, right? If you just say a simple thank you for something stupid, random. Men don't get any of that at all. What men tend to get is that's the bare minimum. You're doing what you're supposed to do. What you want to thank, you want a candy. I say that to them too sometimes, because sometimes I just want to drag them. But coming from your woman, that's what he's describing, right? Now, when you become a matured man to a certain point, right, you can see the blurry line between this and being needy. There's a needy behavior thing here, right? It's a fine line between what we're talking about right now and just being needy. And it shows not necessarily with your mouth. Sometimes it shows in your energy. She can feel it. She can tell that you're being needy, right? You need some candy. You made it top 40, under 40. You need candy. And now you're matching her, you're comparing her to your mother, your family member, right? Like, no, I didn't say that. It shows in your energy. It shows it's a very delicate dance, right? That can absolutely destroy your chances at authentic love in life, right? When you don't need it, it's extremely attractive, right? Shout out to Auntie Shafi Bello. She told us that yesterday, even though it was off topic. When you don't need it, it's highly attractive, right? And then she might be in a position where she's more receiving to even giving it, right? So it's a little tricky. I just say all you can worry about is your own side of the coin. Ladies, your own side of the coin is this: men are needy. Let me don't lie to you, they are needy. Okay, if you can just give that small thing, sometimes it goes a long way. It's part of your seduction skills, right? Because you did it when it was effortless anyways. After C finish enter that, you start questioning this kind of stuff. But gentlemen, focus on your mission, on your purpose. If that's the girl you like, focus on that and continue. Don't take your eyeballs off your purpose, because these little things right here will hunt you down. Can potentially, she might just not have enough in her tank, and you can destroy that relationship like that. So it's a very delicate dance. I don't like doing the balance thing, but I just wanted to point those out to two different people. As a man, if you're in this position, yes, this can cross the line of being needy. Okay, especially if she feels, doesn't mean it's the reality. If she feels like you, I always say thank you, I don't know what you're talking about, but in this particular one, you need it so badly, and it's not showing up now because you won't say it now, because remember, it doesn't really say how it feels, right? But it's going to show up as in other forms. It's going to show up as the vibe, the energy in other areas of life, and she can feel it as something is empty, and then you end up breaking up. And you're like, no, we broke up because of something stupid. No, it's a series, a sequence of many interactions, sequence of things that led down to the breakup. But neediness is not attractive. Just keep that at the back of your mind, okay?
Build a life with was like, boy, I expect you to do that. And so for me at that time, I was fearful to express my feelings, because what I got from her was, you're a man, you're supposed to be doing that. And this man was like, dang, I needed my woman.
I didn't put the words in his mouth. He said, I needed my woman. Okay, so at what point do I need crosses the line to neediness, right? It depends. I don't know what's going on in that relationship, but if there's enough of negative stuff going on, oh yeah, that will easily be interpreted as neediness, right? So neediness is not a dictionary meaning. It depends on how the persons feel. It's ultimately the feelings. As much as you and I should not be driven by our feelings, right? You should try your best not be driven by your feelings, but you need to acknowledge that these feelings are very powerful and they can dictate the next direction for your relationship, you know? But yeah, mommy, yeah, you're wrong. You see, a man cannot say his feelings already. You're doing mommy. Why? Mario. This is just wrong. Honestly, his feelings are valid. Men looking for their mommy and women looking for their daddy in their partners. I'm telling you, these are real things. Like I keep telling you, it's not bad people that end up in divorce courts. It's little things like this that end people up in divorce court. These days, they don't end up in divorce court. They just end up with a lot of break fast in order to avoid divorce. The struggle is real. Her reaction was condescending though, like a big deal. Or the reaction of the... So it depends on what else was going on. That's what I'm trying to say. It depends on what else was going on in that relationship. You could be right. That was the big deal. It could also be that he's been moving like this in many other areas of life. At that point, all she needed, like the only thing that you need to break the camel's back, is that how they say it? Might be something stupid, something that is not a big deal, right? So, but that's what he's saying here. But this is obviously serious for him, right? So, in what other ways has he complained about this? Or before he even gets to complain, say, I can't deal with this. I'd rather not be with this person. This person is looking like my ex. They don't even know how to say ordinary thank you. They can't even say ordinary I'm sorry. You know, thing about Yoruba people say that you pick your battles wisely as you get older. Unfortunately, when you are younger, it's a little bit harder because to you, everything is my right. But that's my right. Yeah, okay.
To kind of be encouraging, to be supportive, to be my number one cheerleader, but I never told her that. And if she's watching today, this is probably the first time that she'll see it.
Wow.
Because we broke up. I never mentioned anything else to her about it. But that's what I mean. It feels that sometimes men, we want that nourishment. We want that supporter. We want to feel like we are Hercules to our women. We don't never want to feel like, oh, well, I expect you to do that. And we understand that there are expectations to being a man. But you have kids. I have nephews and niece.
Yeah.
They know they're supposed to bring home A's and B's. But even when they bring home A's and B's, I don't say, that's what you're supposed to do. I'm like, good job, boy. You know what? Here go a little $5. You know, here's some ice cream. I'm proud of you. That's what, you know, the Gibbons and the Henrys and you know, O'Neills, that's what we do. But here's still some encouragement. And I think sometimes men, we're so used to not being celebrated that we put our feelings aside and we keep on moving. And that is something that I want in my marriage. I want inside of my relationship. And that is hard to find because people feel like, oh, but you're Anthony O'Neill. Oh, you're A.O. Man, no. Bishop Jake said this at the leadership conference. I'm still little Anthony on the inside. I'm still a little
We're all
kid.
still a kid on the inside.
You know what I'm
all
saying?
of us are. All of us are.
Yeah,
and that's okay. Yeah.
Give me a little bit of, if you my woman, give me hype. I don't expect that from my team members. I don't expect that from, but my woman, no, I'm gonna need you to talk to little AO in there.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying, and I'm sure that if she is listening.
Before she continues, what are your thoughts at this point in time? What are your thoughts at this point in time? I'm waiting in the chat. What are your thoughts at this? Before we continue with that, because that's what he just said. It's more of a confirmation of what Mario was alluding to. But again, there's the other side of it, right? What do you think? I hear a little bit more of the mommy thing in there. But I can see when this is a real big deal. There's just some women that don't know how to appreciate anything, right? So I can see that as well. And that's why I'm asking, what do you think? You think this is something that he should be complaining about, or you think like, no, it shouldn't be a big deal? Who shouldn't it be a big deal to, the man or the woman? Right? Based off the little, we have limited information. Based off the little we've heard so far, who shouldn't make this so much of a big deal? The man or the woman? They wait. There's another video here that I thought would be necessary to really make this go home. Let me play a little bit of that again, because she has some word of wisdom that she's going to share. Let's keep going.
Reflecting on that, she probably didn't hear it at the time and might hear it now.
Right.
And maybe be able to learn from that. We all come from places that, especially, I think, not especially, but in a certain way, uniquely in the Black community, we come from some generations that were just very work oriented. This is the work, this is what you do. You know, many of us, I'm almost 50 years old, so
oh wow, she looked good for her age.
I saw this funny Instagram video the other day about like Black moms when they know they're wrong, and they had went off on the kid. They come in the bedroom, is like, hey, did you still want that video game? Or, you know, and the kid was like, nah. They're like, oh, now you don't want it? Like, you know, just not So we, because of many things, some things are cultural, some things the pressures that we've lived under, we haven't been in a place where it may have felt safe to be vulnerable emotionally. But it's something that I'd like to see us build.
Yeah, no,
And
that's
so, first and foremost, though, each of us getting in touch with our own emotions, bless you.
Thank you.
Each of us getting in touch with our own emotional lives. And then before we go, I want to make sure I talk about how to start doing that.
Please.
And then being willing to start to use the language of need when it comes to our emotions, because we're quick to say what we think we need to solve a problem, but not realizing what we actually just need emotionally. And to be so okay with that, that I can say to someone, hey, I need to have some words of affirmation. I need, that hug right now. I need to feel more connected to you in this moment.
Wait now. Auntie, that's what he just said. He said he doesn't feel safe to even say what he feels. You're asking him to say he needs. You see that's the struggles, okay? These are the struggles here. Hold on. He said he doesn't wait. Maya says, was he praising her? Was this lauding his fame over her even while making less? Right? We don't know. There's so much we don't know, right? Okay, so but they give us something to work with. They give us something to work. But she's not asking like go to her and say I need brothers, okay? The only thing I ask you, I do think you should express your feelings. Remember I said earlier that if you're not expressing your feelings and you say I'm good when you're not really good, you're lying. So nothing really good can come out of that too as well, right? The only thing I tell you is that when you do express what you need, manage your expectations. That's all I can ask you to do, okay? Manage your expectations. There's a long-term reward for expressing how you feel and expressing what you need. There's long-term reward for it, okay? Because it's clear, it's out there. They know how you feel. They know what you need. There's a short-term effect of that, and that's when Mario to say, you didn't praise me yesterday. Did you praise me? It becomes what about ism? What about you yesterday? Did you say thank you when I also made it to the magazine on Vibes? Sorry, not Vibe. On Ebony Live TV, I was on their Kineto. You didn't say thank you at that time, and you're asking me to say thank you right now. I appreciate you. Like, why are you being needy? And then it gets worse because you just literally stabbed him in the heart with that. Like, he was already needy, and then those are the nuances that plays out in real life. Okay? Because why? Because feelings are short-term in nature, right? People express their feeling, and then they expect a short-term result. They expect a short-term reward. Does that make sense? Right? If you're going to express your feelings and talk about what you need, first of all, make sure that it's something that's, it's a more of a sustainable thing for you long term, and you understand that depending on how much damage it's already happened, might be some pushback that you're not prepared for. Manage your expectations, right? But you put it out there, and then you move on. You don't stay there and argue or get in a toxic argument about what you need, because that's what most people do, right? Express it how you feel. Be sure of yourself as a man, because that's how you attract respect, and you keep it moving. Like, okay, babe, I'll see you later. I need you to say thank you sometimes. It just makes me feel good anytime you do that. All right, but all right, babe, I'll see you later. You're out. You put it out there. You keep it moving, right? If you do that 2 more times, you probably will never have to do that for the rest of your life again, because it will take on such a, like, you sow that seed, right, that she will never forget. But if you mix that up together with arguing about why you need it, right, that environment, right, that toxic vibe that comes with that argument will unfortunately swallow the essence of why you were asking for that in the first place, right? So as much as I would like to tell him, like, yeah, just say I need us, I'm like, okay, I would like to add on to that manage your expectations around that, especially if there's been terrible arguments around this topic already up to that point. Manage all of that. Don't manage your expectations. Just say, hey, I'm just sowing a seed. This is a seasons, all right, and then I can harvest later on. Long term, you need to play the long game. I don't think it's healthy to not express your quote unquote need or how you feel. I don't think that's healthy long term. I don't think it's healthy also to express it and expect instant gratification. I think that's actually more destructive than the expression of your need. And yes, it is a real thing that the man is expected to know what he wants. All right. So, or be sure of himself. That's what makes a man attractive. Sorry about that. Hold on 1 second. All right. So with that being said, we're going to, before we move on forward, we're going to go ahead and get off of Facebook. Okay. So if you're on Facebook, you're watching us, you want to join us on YouTube, we'll continue the show on YouTube. But like I said, we do have a big show today because these are some of the things that are plaguing relationships and the family unit today. These little things. Okay. I'll be right back. Facebook will see you on YouTube. Come over to YouTube. All right. I'll be right back.
Beautiful girl, sparkling night, killing time. I find a beautiful girl.
Girl, it's your love that I've been missing. I miss all your hugs, your touching and kissing. Make love on the floor, the couch in the kitchen. One loving up, we done enough.
All right. Welcome back. Let me see here. Let's get on to the next part of the show here. There's another video very similar to the topic we just covered. Okay. Very similar. Okay, you know what? I see somebody ask a question. Before we get into that, let's address the question. Hold on 1 second. Let's see here. Let me just see something. Hold on 1 second. Yeah. Give me 1 second. Let's see. There you go. Okay, perfect. All right, just wanted to make sure we take care of that part real quick. Okay. So the question says, Mr. Allah, question: are you of the opinion that people should get into marriage early, since you think 40 is a red flag? That's a very good question. All right. So the question is a statement, and the statement is not something I directly agree with. Okay. It's more so of the pushback against getting into marriage early that I disagree with. I don't necessarily agree that people should rush into marriage just because they're 24, 25. I don't think so. I don't necessarily think that. You know? So I just want to be careful with that. Hold on 1 second. Yeah. I just want to be careful with that, right? I don't necessarily think that people should rush into marriage just because it's time. I think when it's time, right? How do I say that in English? Everything in life is seasons. Everything in life is in seasons. I think the Indomie generation are disrespectful to the fact that everything in life is in seasons, like deliberately. Okay, and that's what I'm pushing against, right? I do think that based on what we know, biology, social construct, nature, right, and a few other factors, I think the ideal time to get married is somewhere between 23 and 30. Okay. And I also said social construct, right? That means society. That means, even not just the society, yourself. Because that's why these questions pop up, right? You expect certain things to happen in due season, right? The only one aspect of life that we're highly disrespectful to is romance and marriage. When I say disrespectful, we're literally trying to say there's no principles, just do you. And sadly, that is just a lie, right? It's just a lie, right? Now, from a circumstantial reasons, people might not get married for a little while. That still doesn't negate the fact that you become more of a coconut head as you go through life. You become, you're still in your ways, right? Your ways are your ways, right? And it's going to be like change is a very difficult thing for all of us. So it's going to be hard for you to quote unquote change in the name of compromise, right? So if everything else were equal, everything else being equal, this is the right answer here. Everything else being equal, yes, I think it's better to do it early because you get to grow with that person. Okay, that means there's going to be crisis. That means that's just life. That means you're going to have growing pain, right? But there's other factors like biology, right? You get to, like, based off of science, the kids, everything else being equal, will be healthier, right? Again, everything else being equal, everything else is not equal. There are other circumstances, right? But if that was the one thing that brings you down to a decision, let's say God gave you that kind of grace, you can decide to pick any man you want. You're that pretty, right? You have everything, and you can decide now, or you can decide when you're 60, right? I would say do it now. If it comes down to that one choice, do it now, because you're going to grow, hold together. You're going to also leverage. Two heads is better than one, right? You're going to leverage the legal life hack, which marriage is, right? You're going to have companionship, which is part of our nature as human beings, right? And yes, that will come also with growing pain. There's going to be some situations that's not necessarily palatable, but that's also true if you were single. So two to get two, right? So everything else being equal, yes, my opinion is that people should get married. When I say early, I'm talking about 25 to 30. And you don't start looking for a wife at 25. You don't start looking for a husband at 25. But once you're like 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, naturally you're moving through life. People are going to approach you if you, again, everything else being equal. I'm not talking about, oh, I'm ugly, I'm challenged, looks, I'm not talking about any of that stuff, right? Those are exceptions, right? I'm talking about just a typical regular day. You're meeting people, and there are some of them that you want to entertain a conversation with. Potentially you do life together. You should entertain getting to know people in that way. By the time you're 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, right? Again, I'm just putting a broad range here so that we're very clear that it's not about a particular time, right? Are you matured enough at that time? Yeah, typically most human beings are matured enough to do life with a person. Does that mean they won't end up in divorce? No. That's like asking me, does that mean people will not die at the age of 2 years old? No, that's not what we're talking about. I'm just saying, if everything else were equal, if you had to choose between now or later, and we're talking about you're at least 25 years of age, it's now, right? Oh, but I'm going to be a medical doctor, I'm going to school. All of that is nonsense, okay? These are the places where you meet people, you meet your husband and wife. All of that is nonsense at the end of the day. Okay, because we don't put anything else on hold except romance and marriage, and we're doing it particularly to solve the problem of so that we can avoid divorce. You know, that's not how to avoid divorce. How to avoid divorce is to remain a student of love and life for the rest of your life from an emotional intelligence standpoint. That's how you avoid divorce. You don't avoid divorce by putting it on hold. All right. So hopefully that answers your question, but that's a fantastic question. 40 years old, reason why I think they are red flags, if they've never been married, it's not because they are bad people. It's just all of us. If you've been collecting bodies, right? If it's not body, like sexually, you've been collecting breakfast. You've been collecting experiences over a period of 20 years, right? And you haven't been married. Red flag in terms of like, we should pay attention to that. Why not? We should have a conversation about that, right? Just a conversation, like a real conversation. Like, let's talk about your experiences, right? That's what we need to do, you know, and that's what we mean. And if you met somebody who is 40, never been married, you should be curious why. It's 20, it's like 2 decades, right? Floating through life, right? No, this has to be a reason. If the reason is not obvious enough, you need to find out. That's what I mean by red flag, all right? Hopefully that helps. All right. What's going on, Mo Fresh? Welcome. Hit that like button as you're coming in. Hit that like button. I appreciate you. With that being said, let's move on to this next topic. It's similar to the one we covered yesterday, but this time it's 2 ladies, and they are blowing up on social media everywhere, and they are yarning a lot of dust. It's not their fault. That's just social media these days. But I thought we should talk about it. Yeah. So I'll be right back. Let's cover that.
It's your love that I've been missing. I miss all your hugs, your touching and kissing. Make love on the floor, the couch in the kitchen. One loving up, we done enough.
All right, so let's talk about them. What's the name of their show again? The name of their show, they're on the same platform. Okay, they're on Glitch Africa Studios, but this is Instablog Nigeria that took this clip out. So let's listen together. Let's see what they're saying.
As a man, as long as you're paying school fees, then that's your role as father. But for me, I personally feel that, like, now my dad did all of that. He did all of that. I went to school in England, like I was good, but I still feel there's still a void.
Yeah.
And that void is definitely because he actually wasn't there. He wasn't present.
Well, in my case, right, growing up, I felt the way because in my head, I'm like, it should be more than just providing. Like, I want you to be more hands-on. But that was how my dad was raised. So he loved us based on what he knew. He didn't know anything more than just, as a man, you provide, and that is that. It's just us millennials now that are now learning. Gen Z is like, it's not only about providing. You have to be there to do your child's assignments, attend meetings. Do you get
PTA? Pick them up from school.
Outside their dilemmas, because kids are going through kids
a
as
lot.
Be there for their health. So it's a lot.
As long as you're providing as a man, as long as you're paying school fees, then that's your role as father. But for me, I personally feel that.
All right, so that's the statement. What do you think? Let me see what they're saying in this chat here. As long as basically what she's saying is that if you're providing as a father, that shouldn't be all of it. That doesn't mean you're a father. I don't know, I'm paraphrasing a little bit, but basically you're providing, you're not providing, they are correct on paper. On paper, they are correct. Okay. As usual. Okay. Now, that mindset is something we should discuss, because the way it operates in real life is more of a mindset than it is about the accurate paper statement, right? It is true that it is not enough that you provide money to be considered a father, because those kids are having experiences, right? And you're missing out in the picture. So that's actually very true. So that's what they're speaking of. Somebody said, how will he provide if he's there? Thank God for this era where people can make money from home. Logic is so far away from this gender. Ha! Oh, Bernie, now don't collect so fast, so quick. Oh, Bernie. Let me continue. He said, logic is so far. How will he provide if he's there? So they have to be mutually exclusive, right? It's either you provide or you're there. Anyway, let's continue. That's somebody who is calling people out for logic. That clearly that person lacks logic of any type.
Hey,
all right, let's move. Let's see. He said, if he didn't provide, wahala. If he does, wahala. Okay, all right. I see where he's coming from with that. This is how you know people who don't understand the value of money. Okay, money actually doesn't have any value except the value we attach to it. Money follows value. Okay, people that struggle with making money, they always think this way. They think money has value. All right, so wait, money doesn't have value. Oh, welcome to the real world. Okay, welcome to the real world. You think your dad who sent you to England to school was picking money on streets? All right. To make the amount of money to send your kids abroad means you must be among the top 10% in Nigeria with legit illegal work. Yet a man is doing this and you also expect him to sit at home. Well, the ladies never said sit at home, to be fair to them. Okay. Now, I'm hearing their mindset. That's another conversation. But as you can see, the men that are attacking this are attacking the on paper, which is hard to attack that. You can be there for your child and make money and provide at the same time. And if you have to choose one over the other, then you have a problem. That's why you are ending up in divorce, okay? Not just divorce, or you end up with children that are terrible, right? Anyway. Yet a man is doing this and you also expect him to sit at home and be pampering your emotions / ego. That's why you have a mother. Okay. These people literally think to actually provide is an easy thing, yet they don't even have anything to bring to the table. Hey, not the table again. Jesus Christ. Lord help us. All right. So that person has a point too. That person, that person has a point, but the point at this point is in the pota. I'm going to come to the chat in a second. Remember, the last topic before I answered Marriott's question is about, a man who doesn't have the space where they can express their feelings. Okay, so they're expressing their feelings now. Let's see how we handle it. Maybe we can put an attempt into finding the middle ground here today. Maybe we can, right? I hate middle ground because I don't think that's sexy. I think middle grounds are weird. I think it's not middle ground. I think it's attraction. It's complementing each other. If complementing each other means middle ground for you, then sure, I'm with it. Okay. But if you mean middle ground, as in like we come like two, and then we're equal, it doesn't exist. You are deceiving yourself. Okay. It's a dance. It's a delicate dance, and some people don't make it. Okay. It's easier said than done, but once you figure it out, it's super easy. Your life becomes super easier once you figure it out. Make man rest, I beg. All of una still same bunch of ish. You won't remember when the man was good and small thing. Now go turn feminist. Hey, this one I'm not listening to at all. This is why a woman too should support her man financially rather than him carrying all the financial burden of the home. All right, Rita says that's absolutely not relevant. It's not relevant, okay? There are many people that support each other financially, they still end up in divorce. Why am I saying divorce? Because that's most people's worst nightmare, so I might as well just say it, right? This therefore allows the man to play essentially fatherly roles. Nope, just because you're paying equal bills doesn't mean you get to play fatherly role, okay? It doesn't mean it actually doesn't mean you play motherly role either, okay? It's much wisdom is needed beyond common sense here. I keep telling you. But una want man where go they provide for una financially 24/7. No, they are literally saying they don't want the provision. They don't value the provision part. If anything, I'm hearing anything in this lady's mindset, they don't care about the value of the provision, the fact that the man can provide. And they're speaking from experience. Go listen to the full podcast. They're speaking from experience, okay? When a young girl feels like her father was never there, it's going to be very, very hard for her to see, especially in this feministic world. It's going to be very hard for her to see the value in being able to provide financially, right? It's going to be hard. Does that excuse the behavior? No, I think it's terrible to not assign any value at all to the fact that a man can provide. I think that's also just as bad. But let me come to the chat for a second here before we'll continue. Chinya says you can provide and be there as well. Absolutely. Mara said I had an active father. People do not know my mom at all my schools because my dad picked me up. He was not the sole provider either. There you go. So that's another not the typical. I don't blame the comments that said what they know. Yeah, they're all saying what they know, right? Nobody's asking him to sign at home. Sit at home, Biko. Yeah, the ladies never said that. For the people in the comment section, they're asking for dad to be involved in the lives of their children by talking to their children, understanding what's going on in lives of their kids. Yes, and unfortunately, financial provision will never replace that, right? And a lot of the situation with a lot of the kids is because of lack of father figure in their parents. A lot of it, not all of it, a lot of it is because of lack of fatherly figure in their lives, right? Because that represents a level of structure in terms of our social construct and everything. And a lot of people struggle with that. Okay, and they will actually say it out in words. You can hear it when they say it out in words. Hit that like button if you're just coming in. Bless you. Hit that like button, share, subscribe. I appreciate you. There are homes where the woman provide as well, but all the burden of raising the kid lays on the woman. Yeah, that's how difficult it is. That's why no one should be encouraging single parenthood of any type, man or woman. Parenting back then was survival, provision. Yes, it became more of survival too. So I said something in the beginning earlier of this show. I said, if anything comes down to survival, right? People will do what they have to do, right? because it's a matter of survival, even if it's wrong, right? They do what they have to do. But as we continue to learn more, as we move into the future, especially you gentlemen, I need you to listen a little bit more, right? Listen a little bit more. If something rubs you off wrong, or some kind of ideology rubs off, or just triggers your reality, lean in a little bit more and listen. Listen more so to what they're trying to say, right? So, for example, when I see this clip of this lady talking, I'm already going to interpret that as they must be speaking from experience, right? Because I didn't have that experience. My father was always a sole provider. My mom also provided, but not from a standpoint of necessity, right? You know how your mother brings a lot to the table financially, but it's not necessarily a requirement, right? Yeah, that's how I grew up, right? But in terms of my father being there, I mean, you guys saw my father here on the show with me. He was there, right? He was just there, right? Like, I don't know any other. Now, I do have cousins that have a little bit of a different reality, and it wasn't necessarily the fault of the father. It was just circumstances. Now, this will almost kick against the answer I gave Marriott earlier, that you should do this earlier. Sometimes when you're 25, 27, 31 years old and you're raising kids, you're actually trying to figure out life on your own too, which is why some people say you will now suddenly become adult at 40. It's a lie, okay? You will continue to you'll be figuring life along the way. You'll be figuring it out. That's how it works. There's no escaping it. It's just the way it is. Now, when you're aware of that, that actually puts you way above the regular population, right? Just being aware of that. So I had people, family members that, you know, the father had to be overseas. The father was in Cyprus. The father was in Turkey, was in China for extended longer period of time, trying to make life better for the family. And this happened to be the ages where the developing ages of the kids, right? So the kids get older, and it's like my father was never there. He was trying to provide. He wasn't there. He was trying to provide. A circumstantial situation. He couldn't be there physically, right? And I've heard stories of people saying, no, my father wasn't there physically, but he was always on the phone with us every night, right? I've heard stories like that too, right? So what is being there exactly? How do you define that? From people to people, it varies from people to people. Here's what I'm going to tell every single one of you, okay? Your kids too. This applies for them. You're just another human being here. You owe it to yourself to create the best experience for yourself here. You pass through some people to get here, biologically speaking. You feel a sense of entitlement. I guess it's normal, okay? But you should manage that, okay? That's something you should manage, because it can absolutely destroy you. Because you're being dealt some cards right now, and what the cards you're being dealt is what you've got to work with, right? And the first lady that spoke, she said something, right? And the other one says something. I want us to assess them very well, and then I'll point out what I'm saying to you. Everyone's story is different from people to people, but there's some commonalities, and that's what we're trying to discuss. That's what we're trying to pull out. We're trying to pull out some of the patterns here that we can learn from, because we have a lot more in common than we like to realize, okay? But I don't think it's healthy to completely discount the fact that a man can provide, okay? The person that their father never provided for them will slap you for saying that, right? You're like, they still gave you money. They sent you money every other year, and then you're complaining. Me, I've never seen my father before. See, the majority of the issues with relationships today, a lot of it is pointed back to gratitude. Ingrates. We have a lot of ingrates in this Indomie generation. What did I say here? I actually left a comment here. Okay, so follow me on Instagram. I'm gonna make it on the. I'm gonna put the links at the very top now, so you can easily follow on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, and everywhere else. Okay, so we need more engagement over there. I say Gen Z also tend to be ingrates, and ingrates will continue to get less. All right. Anybody dupe oriano don't read me back, not the other way around. You don't read me back because dupe oriano. No, you get more because you are grateful for the little you have, right? But what we have with the Indomie generation is that nothing is ever enough. Okay, so in this specific situation, well, the father not being there is not enough. You're right. That's the point. Now, in that situation, can you find something you can be grateful about? I bet it's difficult. If it's difficult, there's a good chance that's exactly what you need to do. Okay, but let's play this a little bit.
Like now, my dad did all of that. He did all of that. I went to school in England. Like you know, like I was good, but I still feel there's still a void.
Yeah.
So what do we know when we say but? You negate everything. My dad did all of that. I was good, but you negate all of that. Depending on who you're talking to, it's just a podcast. But in real life, if this is your mindset, you tend to say, "Oh yeah, you did this for me yesterday," but well, everything you said before that is zero. Okay, if not worse. Okay, it's just zero now, right? So how do you say that? How do you say what you need without being needy or without coming off as ingrate? That is a fantastic question. That's what I want you to think about. Okay, that's what I want you to think about in this situation. Okay, there's some terrible situations where you have to call some people out. Majority of the cases is not. It's just ingrates. This is what it is. I have to tell you as it is. I have to be a truth teller.
And that void is definitely because he actually wasn't there. He wasn't present.
Well, in my case,
her feelings are valid. She said a void. That's how she feels. Her feelings are valid, right? But again, like I said, like as an adult, what do you do with that, right? Do you even have a dad? Most of us don't have a dad that will acknowledge what she's talking about. Okay, they just like, That's
right. Growing up, I felt the way because in my head, I'm like, it should be more than just providing. Like, I want you to be more hands-on. But that was how my dad was raised.
All right. So she did but then she did the second but, right? She said, but that's how my dad was raised. I want you to keep in mind that everything that you want to complain about, right? Everything that you want to complain about, if you just have enough grace to go back and have a conversation about it, you will find out that there's more to it than somebody just trying to hurt you. Okay? You would just go back and just have a conversation with them. You would just get a lot more insights. You find out that it's just not this person trying to hurt you, because you kind of already know that they're not trying to hurt you. You're just trying to call it out that these people were not there for you, right? And you probably have your traumatic experiences that makes it valid or that actually hurt you, right? For example, God forbid, I'm not going to go into that, because that's triggering. But the point is that I don't know what extent it has hurt you that your father, your mother was not there, right? But if they're still available, you can have a conversation with them. That's the best move you can do to validate your feelings, right? But you go there with an intention to understand, right? That's not the way they were raised. That's the way I was raised. I just thought I was spoiled because my father was always there, so I didn't want to spoil my kids. Something extreme, something that you might even like, but you have a little bit more than your feelings to ponder upon, right? So it's tricky. It's very tricky, but I think in general, this is an absolute in life. If you're an ingrate, either you're doing it intentionally or not. If you have a tendency to not see life from a standpoint of gratitude, I hate to tell you like this. Nothing will ever be enough for you. Nothing. Being grateful is something we have to put additional effort in. All right, it's not something that comes natural. We tend to complain more, faster, easier, hold others accountable before we look at self. We have a tendency to do that. Okay, so just something to think about, and that's not to invalidate anybody's experiences. I'm just saying you do have more power than you realize if you're still complaining. Okay. All right. Chinya says that is why when they get older they tend to be more attentive to their mom and not dad. Yeah, it almost gets worse, literally. It gets worse, And if you're going to apply empathy to men, this would be a good moment, I still don't think men should sit around and not engage their purpose as well, because they too, if they try that, they will collect. All right. So I'll be right back. Let's get to the story of the day. Do me a favor, hit the like, share, subscribe button, turn up your notifications so you're notified when we do go live. I appreciate you for doing that. I'll be right back.
Beautiful girl, sparkling night, killing thing. I find a beautiful girl.
Girl, it's your love that I've been missing. I miss all your hugs, your touching and kissing. Make love on the floor, the couch in the kitchen. One love enough, we done enough.
All right, welcome back. So let's talk about Israel. Let's talk about Israel. No one is safe. Israel, Davido'S Aide. Like, I set up this show earlier on, and I was like, oh, before I came back, I was like, oh, there's more. They're doing basketballs on the internet. Okay, maybe we can learn one or two things from this today. That's our headlines. So, but this was trending today along with Davido. So let's talk about it. I'm literally going to pull up some of the statements that her name, what's her name? His name is Isreal. Let me see. I'll pull up her name in a second. And basically he got married in 2020, 21, 22. I'm not sure. But anyway, that marriage is over right now. And they're dragging each other. Okay. They're dragging each other on the internet. On Instablog Niger. Shout out to Instablog Niger for the work they do over there. Because content is contenting. All right, so let's see. The first thing I saw earlier on today, about 17 hours ago, is this post here. It says, you deceived me into marrying you legally in order to gain popularity. This is Israel saying this. Okay, this is Israel saying this to his estranged wife. Okay, who's Israel? Davido is probably one of the top 3 most popular Nigerian Afrobeat artists. You know, Anita's ex-boyfriend. Tell Anita, make she come to go far away, far away, far away. This time it's not Davido. It's Davido'S Aide, and that's the guy you're looking at on the screen. And there was a big old wedding, and shortly thereafter, he basically everything done pafuka. And even recently, he tried to like come on the internet and say, you're the best thing that happened to me. And the wife was like, you and who? Your father. On the internet, for that matter.
Your daddy.
Yeah. Listen, there's a lot of clowns out there, but this is just showcasing what is really happening with a lot of people's relationships. It's just that majority of us, of course, we're not going to jump on the internet and start dragging each other, but we drag each other privately. Okay, when you find yourself in a funk, siblings, brothers, sisters, cousins, you drag each other. It might be more privately, but you drag each other. These guys are just showcasing what we already know happens in all of our dysfunctional families. Okay, Ola, speak for yourself. My family is not dysfunctional. Okay, if you say so.
You're right.
All right, so let me read. I'm going to read the first post I saw from about 19 hours ago. He said, marrying a lady because you met her during evangelism as a virgin. Virgin people don't collect already before we start. What did virgin people do now? That's why you married her, because she was a virgin? Sorry. Jesus. Already. Okay. Marrying a lady because you met her during evangelism as a virgin, a pastor's daughter, a member of your same Winners Chapel church, might not guarantee anything peace at all. All right, so this is why I send common sense into the poto every single time. This is why I do it. Now, you and I will agree that it's common sense that a virgin pastor's daughter. You know, what's the other one? Winners Chapel member. Right? It's supposed to mean, right? It's supposed to mean long life, happy married life, lasting marriage. How do I know? Because people tell you all the time, like, marry a child of God if you don't want to hate yourself. All right, so the problem with that is not if you marry a child of God. It's like, what do you mean by child of God first? First of all, what do you mean by a child of God? Right? Explain, elaborate, right? Wait, so you're being disingenuous. You don't know what child of God means? Listen, for every single one of these points, okay? Virgin 1, pastor's daughter 2, a member of Winners Chapel 3, and what? Oh, 3, okay. So let me give him 2 more. 2 oh no, 2 more. Alright, so sorry. That I don't know why. He said it like he said something profound. Right? This level of common sense, everybody has it. Okay? A virgin, a pastor's daughter, a member, not even at least a child of God. Can we include a child of God in that at least? Right? At least, right? Because just because a person is a virgin doesn't mean they're a child of God. Just because they're a pastor's daughter does not mean they're a child of God, right? Just because they go to Winners doesn't mean they're a child of God. But even a child of God, don't let me deceive you. Me, I will still ask you, what do you mean by a child of God? What do you mean? Right? Don't pretend like you don't know what I'm talking about. You know them. Anyway, let's continue. He said, don't be too eager or quick to trust people. People can change at any time. This is Isreal advising us. Isreal is now a relationship marriage coach. Okay? It's now a relationship marriage coach. Can you imagine? He said, people can change anytime. People can be very ungrateful and deceptive. Those are 2 charges. 2 charges. I met Sheila. Her name is Sheila. February 19, 2022. Okay. He has to receive 1 more for that. I thought it was 2020. It's not even up to we're barely going past. Okay, he just went past 1 year. And then he wants to become a relationship coach. Baba! Okay, enough. Sorry, I misused that today. I met Sheila February 19, 2022. We became friends, which later became intimate. She told me she would only lose her virginity to the man that will marry her, since her UJEP. What's UJEP? Somebody help me. UJEP, that's UGEP. Cross River mother, who is now the mother. Oh, UJEP, is that a city? UJEP Cross River mother. Is that a city? Help me. Okay. Since her UJEP Cross River mother, who is now 41, the mother is now 41, who had earlier married 2 different men. Listen, I was going to take it easy on him, but listen. So because she married 2 men earlier on, that you didn't know that before. Why are we bringing that up right now? Okay, I'll let you. Just let's listen. Let's listen to what he has to say. Okay, you're right. I will listen. Okay. All right. Okay, so since the Cross River mother, who is now 41, who had earlier married 2 different men with 2 kids before marrying her father, and that she was overdue at 21 for marriage, we fully agree with her terms and conditions. This ninja cannot even finish a full statement. What is going on here? Okay, let me read the statement for you if it makes sense to you again. Okay, I'm completely okay. She told me she would only lose her virginity to the man that would marry her, since her Cross River mother, who is now 41, who had earlier married 2 different men with 2 kids before marrying her father, and that she was overdue at 21 for marriage. Okay, all right. So she's 21. Mother is 41 now. 20. Okay, all right. Jesus, God help me. We fully agree with her terms and conditions. I immediately began a full upgrade of her unkept situations. You didn't know she was unkept, but you went there to go and Captain Save a what? Oh, more. This is funnier than I thought. I knew it was going to be funny. I just knew it was going to be funny, but I was like, this is going to be fun. I immediately began a full upgrade of her unkept situation by firstly giving her $300K. 300,000 is how much now? $3,000? Yeah, I guess. And also replacing a tattered phone of less than 60K. A phone, he's making this clear. He's speaking Yoruba versus Cross River English at the same time. Okay. I replaced a tattered phone of less than 60,000 naira. Okay, so that's equivalent of what, like $60, right? Is that $60? Yeah, $60 to a brand new phone, iPhone 12 Pro Max of 860,000 naira, about $860 in less than 2 weeks. I later also replaced the 12 Pro Max to a brand 40 Pro Max of 1.2 million naira that she's currently using to slay. Hey. All right. So this guy was over there simping, and he's going to come here and become a relationship coach, just like the rest of the Red Pill community.
Continue.
Okay, before I continue, let me come to the chat because listen, this is what they do. Eventually, I might even start the channel and start advising the rest of the other simps. Please, why is he looking for a virgin? Is he a virgin? That's called whataboutism. You let me. What do you mean, is he a virgin? That's whataboutism now. Why are you asking that question? Is that a virgin now? Come on now. It's a Davido'S Aide, not a virgin. Captain Save 304. But I bet how far are you there? Can you defend your gender? Let's do it. You know, as long as the gender war is not toxic, we can tolerate a little small. All right. Let's continue. Okay. So he's replaced her phone twice, from 60,000 naira to 860,000 naira to 1.2 million naira, and she's currently using it to slay. I did a lot of shoppings for her, bought her clothes and bags, including expensive human hairs. She's using without sleeping with her then. Oh, so you were buying all this stuff and you weren't sleeping with her. You are being ladies and gentlemen, this is what we call a Mr. Nice Guy. Sorry. I told you they are the devil themselves, because they will come back and drag you. Woto. I told you. Nice guys will come back and drag you. It's only a matter of time. I'm not saying you should you don't have to run from nice guys. Particularly Mr. Nice Guys. They are two different things. There's a nice guy and there's Mr. Nice Guy. Okay? When you see a Mr. Nice Guy, run. When you see a nice guy, get to know him. Get to know him. you know. But be careful, because nice guys too, you know, those ones that are the good man, the good one, the very good man, right? The one that will not abuse you. Not only they won't abuse you, they will make sure they remind you that I'm not an abuser. Get that one. Be careful. Be careful, because he probably needs you to validate his feelings. You get it?
You get it? If you don't get it, forget about it.
Let's continue. Let me continue here. There's more to this than I thought. I didn't realize. Let's continue. All right. So I did a lot of shopping for her. Bought her clothes and bags, including expensive human hairs she's using without sleeping with her then. I later proposed and she fully accepted. Okay. Now, the message here is not that you have to sleep with the person before you propose to them. Okay. But if you're going to talk about the 1.2 million naira later, it's better you make sure you sleep with them first. Okay. I know it's hard to see the future, but you know yourself. If you know you're going to resent the idea that this person can move on with their life in spite of the fact that you bought them a 1.2 million naira phone, if you know you will resent that, my guy, stop everything immediately. Just stop. Okay? Because you use your own hands to push her away. That's the way it's going to, that's literally how it's going to play out. You will use your own mouth, your neediness, your Holy Spiritness, your righteousness, all of that, right? You will use it to push her away. It's just the way it's going to happen. Okay? You don't believe me? Join the Manosphere and see the stories. Okay? All right. We later did a legally introduction, traditional and white weddings in Benin City. Yeah, the Benin people. Sheila immediately changed by showing her real self after our wedding by wanting to set standards for me, because she now felt she was blown as Juju wife. What's Juju wife? That's like Ayu, right? Like small wife, right? I think that's what that means, right? I'm not sure. Fully verified on Instagram with more followers from her earlier struggling 3,000 followers. When I met her, I have a struggling 26,000 followers on Instagram that are literally dead, no engagement. Okay, story for another day how they got there, but I promise it wasn't a situation where we bought them. Okay, but we have 200 on our Man of Prestige page, so if you haven't followed us over there, please, we have a struggling 200 followers on Instagram. Please make sure you follow us there, engage it. I will leave the link in the description to be a little bit more clearer. And I just noticed last week that we had a bad link, nobody told us, inside of Facebook as well. So it's Man of Prestige __. Okay. With more followers from our earlier struggling 3,000 followers when I met her, a fully Shakpa girl. What's Shakpa girl? Somebody help me. What is that? Right? A fully Shakpa. Is it Shakpa or Shakpa? Okay, Shakpa girl. Let's just continue, right? A fully Shakpa girl I met with just 2,700 in our account. 2,700 in our account. I've never raised not $2,700. It's either 2,700 followers or Naira, which is about $2 or $3. One of the two. In our account, I have never raised my hands on her any day. Wait, this is giving Tyrese already. I have never raised my hands on her ever before. Yeah.
Will you keep quiet?
He wants candy because he's never raised. Brotherly. I really want to help. I promise. I'm on your side. I promise. I am on your side. I promise. I really do promise I'm on your side. But this behavior's here.
Sorry.
So Saps hungry girl. So Saps is hungry girl. Okay. And she's a gold digger. How? Local champion thinking himself Elon Musk. It's Davido'S Aide. Don't forget. It's Davido'S Aide now. That's a big deal. Private jets, PJs, all of that, right? But Abebe so Israel was wrong playing to the galaxy, but that doesn't exonerate the gold digger wife too. No, it doesn't. Everybody go collect, right? But in this time, the only person that get to collect from me is the person doing the talking. Is the person doing the talking. And that's why they don't tend to like me, because they're looking for somebody to support their own side of the stories. And if you're doing talking, there's usually I can usually hear the loopholes in the in-betweens, the places where you could have improved. I can't hear the other person, but I think she's going to speak later on. Life not to say nickname is Juju. Okay, that's his nickname, Juju. Okay, he's Juju. Okay, I don't follow them enough, so let's see. All right, thank you for clearing that up. So Juju, I've never raised my hand. Juju says I've never raised my hands on her any day. I don't beat women at all. So maybe he's responding to being accused of doing that. So maybe that's what he's saying. I don't know yet, right? So maybe it's not a Tyrese. Because again, if somebody's not accusing you of that, why are you bringing that up, right? It's the only reason why you might bring that up is you think you deserve everything just because you haven't done that. No, that's wrong. That's usually a blind spot. Okay, I respect them so much. Yeah, women. I respect women so much. The least money for her upkeep was $100K. That's about $1,000. That's a lot of money, right? Clearly, she's saying, I don't want the $100K anymore. It's either she's a Olosho and she's followed a bigger man, someone at the level of Davido, or something is going on with that relationship. It's like, you know what? It's not worth your $100K. It's one of the two, right? It's either she said, no, I'm following bigger boys, right? Or she said, no. The emotional roller coaster in this situation, it's not worth $100K for me. I'll leave it alone. It's one of the two. We'll find out. At some point, they will tell us more. Okay. She now wakes up to tell me that I derive dignity in begging my Oga. That's what she said. But tell us the rest of the story. All right. And that I'm fully a slave, and that I am disgracing her on social media. So once upon a time, this woman wanted to marry you, even though she knew you were begging at the time, even though that's just what you do for a living. You are Davido'S Aide, which I don't consider begging, by the way. But somehow she used that same thing, the same one you used to wear that to come and shame you. There's something between the story. How did we get from here to here? Let's be patient. Maybe you will tell us. All right. She now suddenly wakes up. No, that's a lie. Instantly, just for telling that lie right now. Yeah, she didn't just wake up. How do you know you weren't there? No, okay, I'm talking in general. Usually, people don't wake up and just decide to turn their back on you. No, that's not how it works. That's a lie. That's just a lie, okay? All right, maybe you're oblivious to what was going on. Maybe you were so controlling you didn't pay attention to what was going on. Maybe I didn't say that's what happened. Maybe, right? But we know for a fact that it's probably more likely that you weren't paying attention to the actual dynamics of that relationship. Yeah, fact. That's a fact. Okay, fact. Yeah. How can you say fact? You don't know. I said it. I said it. Okay. Okay. Let's keep going. She now wakes up to tell me that I derive dignity in begging my Oga, and that I'm fully a slave, and that I am disgracing her on social media. You know how, because this is what he does. He prostrates for Davido. He's like, my Oga. He beefs, like he's like a hype man. It's like a 24/7 hype man for Davido, right? Now, is it possible that there's a girl who's an ingrate, who's a gold digger, who will suddenly wake up? No, I'm not talking for both sides of my mouth. They exist, but they're very, very small. They're in minority. And at some point, gentlemen, I'm going to look at you like, how did you find yourself in that situation? Maybe because you were looking for a virgin, a pastor's daughter, and a winner's chapel member, and in your head, your small little brain, you think that makes up for a good wife. Maybe that. So it's always a man's fault. Yes, precisely. Let's keep going. I had earlier taken her to show same Oga for the first time before we wedded. When we were in Abuja Transcorp Hilton, an Oga asked her straightforward if she was ready for marriage, and she fully answered by saying yes. And Oga immediately gave her 500k for airtime. Oga was fully present in Benin for my wedding. Oga is Davido. Okay. After cancelling a 140 million naira show appearance. All right. So cancelling a 140 million naira show appearance, Oga had to even cough out another extra 30 million to get a jet, since his own was away in America for servicing. She finally moved out of my house August 8th to Abuja to meet her friend Ginika. I had a friend in college called Ginika. I remember that Igbo name. A well-verified prostitute for fornication. Baba don't become fornicator detector. Wow. Oh Lord. But I bet as much as I don't like public talking, I still kind of agree with it. So me too, I agree. It's content. I agree 100% with his public outburst. Who am I? Me. I think it's right to have a public outburst. I don't know. I'm like that now.
You're right.
You're right. The wife is talking to go check legit Nigeria and leader AK. No. I have that. We'll get to it. I have that. I marked them down earlier. Both, absolutely. Both of them are weary. Yeah, absolutely. I saw that. Don't worry. We'll get to it. Wait. We're running out of time. Okay, let me run through it. We're running out of time already. I'm just having a good time with this. All right. So let me just read through. Okay. Since his own was away in America, okay, we already covered that. So she moved out in Abuja to meet her friend Ginika, a well-verified prostitute for fornication, after 4 attempts with flimsy excuses. All of this could be true, but it unfortunately points back to, Baba, you thought you were marrying a virgin, right? The only point of leverage is you. The only thing you can control is you, yourself. You can't control other human beings. You can influence them. It's no way an Olusho can end up in your life. If you know what value is in life, if you understand how value is and how it translates to romantic relationships in the modern times, it's not possible that, it's almost impossible. Let me say almost, I leave some room. Almost impossible that a controlling narcissist will end up with one of those, or you will end up with an Olosho. It's almost impossible. Okay, I leave a little small room because the unfortunate happens to some people sometimes. But if this world is about the unfortunate happening to majority, it will be a war zone. It's just not a war zone. It's not. Okay, a lot of time you're looking korokoro with your eyes and your sense of value is discombobulated, so you get with a person with terrible sense of value. Okay, the value in virginity is for her, not for you. Not in 2023. So if you're laser focused on that and that's your way of picking a wife, it's going to be hard. That's what he said himself. It's going to be hard for me to take you too seriously. Now, especially if you're not acting like we're both of you on the internet. To me, it sounds like maybe two ways they meet each other. So far, let's continue. All right. So Ginika is a well-verified prostitute for fornication. After 4 attempts with flimsy excuses, her Calabar mother is the most wicked and heartless woman every man should avoid as a mother-in-law. If you don't collect shege from a woman, you will always, and if she has a mother that's defending her, you will always see that as a wicked woman. Okay? Sorry. So it makes sense to me that you see it that way. It makes sense. She's a wicked woman, heartless woman. Okay, why? Because she's now say, "Don't kill my child for me, oh! Don't kill my child for me. I don't care what you did." There's nothing I didn't do to please this woman. Yeah, that shouldn't have been the focus. The way you move as a man should have been enough pleasing for her. If that wasn't enough, you shouldn't have done any extra. She's just not that mother-in-law, right? A pure fake church deaconess. and very okay. Sheila would always enter my Oga's DM to discredit me. She keeps showing everyone. Did she want your Oga? She keeps showing everyone my Oga's chat that Oga doesn't like me at all. That Oga said he's even tired of me. Well, did Oga actually say that? Okay, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Maybe Oga was just tired of her as a worker, as an employer, right? I was Fuki, the one that even introduced her to Oga. I guess I was the one that even introduced her to Oga. I was the one who told Oga to start following her back on IG. Look at what people are valuing. Just imagine what people assign value to. Just think about it right now, okay? I was the one who told Oga to start following her back on IG. People should be careful of Sheila and her parents. They are fully gold diggers. They fully extorted me. They want to look another highest bidder to sell their daughter to again. Sheila, on this day, you are fully cursed. This course is not getting anywhere. I'm sorry. This course is not going further than his mouth, okay? Gentlemen, you need to protect yourself. How do you protect yourself? Work on yourself so that you don't attract garbage. I'm choosing to believe you that she's garbage. Work on yourself so that you don't attract garbage. Okay? You can't blame that on garbage. If I choose to believe you right now, right? I've just chosen to believe you. If you attract garbage, you can't blame that on garbage. If you attract a pig, you cannot blame that on pig now. Your blood smell good to them. They come right? Okay, don't blame yourself, okay? Don't beat yourself too hard, but let me do it for you.
Sorry.
No, but seriously, don't beat yourself too hard, okay? But what you attract who you are, okay? It's almost impossible for you to attract what you're not. Okay? It's just almost impossible. So that you don't come back less than 2 years later and come and be raining curses that will never work. Okay? He said, you shall never have peace in your entire lifetime. Any man who nears you is fully cursed. This man go take that, they will hunger, they will tag on that bekus. They can't wait. They don't care. You're wasting your energy. All of this energy should be going back to, how did I attract that? Any man who nears you is fully cursed. You fully deceived me into a legally oath of marriage just to get popularity. I immediately went into serious depression. Oh, Mashu. Thanks for Oga, who would always call to check up on me and make me laugh. So these are receipts. What do we know about them? Receipts. First bank receipts for 300K, 100K, right? I believe him. 400K I sent to Sheila's mother. This is to Sheila's mother in last October alone. She's never contented at all. No, if you're simping, it's never enough, bro. Okay?
Sorry.
It's never enough. Okay? If there's no intrinsic value, it's never going to be enough. If the value is just money, it will never be enough. The mama don't collect your affair. Mama will collect. Ginika is my sister's name. Ginika Chuku. What is greater than God? Oh, wow. That's a beautiful name. That's a beautiful name. Awesome. Let's see here. So he's showing receipts. Okay. And since they're adults and they put it out there, let me just show it. I guess these are the parents. She's now 41. This is the mother. Baba don't for one chance. It's not one chance because he get to escape right now. He get to escape. He should be happy. Okay? He should be happy that he gets to escape. If he's right, if you're truly right, that these people were just looking, they're just a pig and all this kind of stuff, then you should be happy. Why are you not happy? Now tell me, Mungbo, why are you not happy? Because you're a simp.
Sorry.
Because you lack game. All you had was money. That's why. All you had was money. Right? You had nothing else. There's no intrinsic value. You had no self-respect. That's why you attracted a person that probably lacked any self-respect. No man show. But let me continue here, because believe it or not, there's more. There is more. Because she came out, bass pose. More receipts. First schedule. Oh, they were beautiful. Oh, this is Beanie. This is shout out to Auntie B. She's in Nigeria, enjoying Nigeria right now. Ah, such a beautiful. Oh. He thought it was happily ever after. Anyway, the comment I left on this one earlier was he's repeating the same thing that got him there, basically. Yeah. This outburst is literally him repeating the same thing. Okay? He's repeating the same thing. If you have self-respect, it's going to be a lot more harder to have a public outburst. It's just going to be harder. Because you have a lot more to lose in terms of dignity, self-respect, and all this stuff that you just, like, you wouldn't want to drag that because of a woman, right? It just doesn't make any sense, right? The only way to make sense is if you're a pig yourself. Then it's like, you know what? We go low, we go to hell. Right? That's the only way that would make sense. Was Israel not prostrating for his oga before she agreed to marry him? I hate this kind of woman. Of course you would, because majority of men are like this. This is why they keep attracting trash. Not only attracting trash, they're creating trash. Because it takes two to create a human being. They are creating trash. Of all people to marry for popularity, Isreal, Lobato, another angle. Explaining her mother married 2 men with children before her father wasn't necessary at all. You know why it was necessary? Because he's a true pig himself. And I mean that proverbially. Let me use another language. He didn't have self-respect himself. That's why. Let me use that. Let me be respectful. Okay? Because Israel is one of my brothers, and I know many of them like that. They don't understand why these things keep happening to them. But brotherly, the woman get to create what you have. She multiplies it. It's just the way it works. Undefeatable life principle is just the way it works. So there's no like trash woman and bro, you're still missing the point. The fact that you're missing that point is the reason why you continue to create the same result. Just stop. Go back to school. Just be happy that based on your story, you've avoided a pig. Okay? Let's just thank our goodness. Right? Explaining her mother married, it wasn't necessary. It's just a demonstration of how you got here in the first place. And that's what I meant by he's basically repeating the same thing that got him there in the first place. All right. So anyway, he continued. There's another one here. Says Sheila's parents forced me to give them 1 million naira from the money sprayed at our wedding. All right, so there's a lot of drama around wedding typically, and yes, people do get greedy at the wedding parties in Nigeria and stuff. That's the reality. But look at them. This girl is so young. This girl seems very young. What is she, 20, 19? Oh, I feel for Israel, to be honest. When men have windfall of status, money, they often don't know what to do with themselves, especially. It just gets very, very nasty. But anyway, let me go ahead and read the rest of the stuff, okay? So we don't spend too long here. Because once we're heading towards 2.5 hours, I start to dry up too. Okay, so the receipt of, so he showed another receipt of 1 million naira, part of the money that was paid at the wedding. They forced him to give the money back. This has nothing to do with nothing. It's not relevant to the fact that you couldn't keep a home together. You can't even go past 1.5 years, you know? If what you're saying is true, that she's just a gold digger, it makes sense. However, how did you end up with a gold digger? Right? It makes sense that you couldn't last up to 2 years. Right? And if what you're saying is not true and you're just lying, it makes sense too that the marriage couldn't last. Either way, it's still the same thing, right? The same place, like Jazzy. That's why you can't really lie to me. If you lie to me, you're basically lying to yourself. If you lie to the public, you're lying to yourself, basically. Because your results will never lie. It's just what it is. Okay? Your results is the only truth that really exists. It becomes fact. It's no longer just your truth anymore. It's just fact at this point in time. So, and what that equals to is that you're confused. It's time to learn something new. Because the way you did it did not work. Okay? I'm not taking away from the fact that you are right. You're still right.
Oh, you're right.
I'm not taking away from that. If you're right, she's a pig. How did you attract a pig? Because if you attract a pig, it wasn't going to last. And if you're lying, which I don't know because I think you're right. If you're lying, it's even worse. Right? It's not better. It's probably worse. Okay? So right now, all of this is, I know he has receipts and all. But it's not enough evidence.
Explain, because no evidence.
It's not. There will never be enough evidence for the public. There will never be enough evidence for the public. The public is not your mate. Social media is not your mate. Small. Okay. Anyway, the ex-wife, estranged wife came out. Okay. And she had something to say. Shout out to Sheila and Isreal. Israel is cooking a narrative to gather sympathy. He said, no, I'm not gathering sympathy. I need to tell people to avoid people like you. Israel.
Why the fuck you lying?
All right, it's not doing it intentionally. He's his feelings. He's caught up in his feelings. He doesn't need sympathy. He just needs to help other men, to protect other men. I'm sure there will be enough women too that will tag along and say, yes, these wicked women that do that are holier than thou. They know they won't last either. Okay, men, we need strong men. We need stronger men in our society. Men that can say, I feel, and not end up in a toxic argument. They can go about their way. They show off themselves. They can express themselves because nobody is stopping anybody from expressing themselves. The only thing we're asking you to do in the context of all of this, you need to understand that you're expected to lead. You need to demonstrate that. What that means is that more responsibility in terms of managing the emotional energy in this context, especially when we're talking about romantic relationships. So, we're going to give you some tough love sometimes, okay? And I understand if women want to sympathize with you, but that should tell you something. Are you that weak? You should ask yourself, I need woman's sympathy before I can. Oh, it feels so good to have feminine, soft women who understand the plight. They will never understand your plight. They will dig a grave for you if you don't listen to what I'm saying right now. Get your shit together, okay, and understand that if you want to lead, you're expected to lead. That means more responsibility. That also means very high rewards. But you have to be patient. You can't get caught up in your feelings, especially the result of your feelings short term. You can't do that. You can't afford it. It's not set up. This whole thing is not set up that way. Okay? It's just not set up that way. I'm sorry. You need someone to cry to, find a few brothers. Find your brothers. Cry on the shoulder of your brothers. Talk to them, right? So this is what kind of world is this coming that we can't... No, you can share your feelings. You should manage your expectations around that. That's all we're telling you. Okay? That's all we're telling you. Anyway, Sheila came back. Sheila said, I'm going to have to Zoom in a little bit here. If I go to the hospital just to drop my blood sample without him, he would come to my office, pick me up, and insult me to and fro. Brother Ben, did you read this part? Brother Ben, where are thou? Did you read this part? That the first line is all I need to read. Ola, why are you believing the woman? Remember I said I believe him. Don't forget that part. Okay? If you ask me that question again, okay, why are you believing the woman first?
Sorry.
If you ask me that question again, don't ask me that question again, okay? I believe both of them, but I'm going to address both of them that are talking, okay? All right, let's keep going. If I go to the hospital just to drop my blood sample without him, he would come to my office, pick me up, and insult me to and fro. Results were out, and my result came out okay. I only had a high level. Something that generates milk, I think. But the doctor said that was okay and gave supplements to be taken. His was out after he made a whole show and dragged during the test. Messed up the first result, and all till I insisted that I must be at the hospital with him when I haven't seen the rest of this story. I'm just reading from. Let me see. Is there more to this? Maybe I started later. Let me see. Okay, all right. I started in the middle. I started in the middle. All right, so let me start from the beginning. Unfortunately, we have to go over time today, okay? Sorry. Sheila Courage, okay? She said I was going to keep my reserve on this, but as it is, I see no reason to. Wait. Of course, Isreal is here and say, pure lies, 100%. It's right there in the chat. Say pure lies. Natu said, my pastor said, if you say your partner is bad, it says something about you. Yeah, it says something at least. At least something. Okay, I agree 100% with that. Anyway, let's continue reading this. The wife had something to say. He has something to say. I'm not judging. I'm just reading what they're saying with their own mouth. So, bear with me. She said I was going to keep my reserve on this, but it is, as it is, I see no reason to. There's always a reason to keep your reserve. There's always a reason to have enough self-esteem, and you're not just moving like a puppet just because somebody else is moving mad. Now, granted, if you're a normal human being, sometimes you're triggered and sometimes you overreact. Or you react. Some people are triggered by saying overreact. You react. Okay? Your reactions are your responsibilities. They're your actions you're responsible for. You don't get to blame your reaction on other people. Yeah, this is the real world. Welcome to the real world. They're all yours. You get to own it. Even if you decide not to own it, it's still yours. Okay? Did I see signs before the wedding? Yes, I did. That's accountability of some sort. Small, tiny bit. Okay? One of the reasons was because of the rush of the wedding. Even after I said we should give it time, he came up with a lot of excuses and threats. Israeli. This is why I said I don't need both sides.
Sorry.
For her to.
Sorry.
It's not an excuse that you allowed somebody else to rush you. Okay? It's not an excuse. Okay? Okay. It's just not an excuse. I'm sorry. All right. So, a reason. We're taking it as a reason. Your excuses are legit. Okay? But hopefully you learn from this. Okay? But anyway. One of the reasons was because of the rush of the wedding. Even after I said we should give it time, he came up with a lot of excuses and threats. I wonder what those threats look like. I don't have time, but a lot of girls want me. We are traveling to Atlanta tomorrow. We're going to be on the private jet all the way to the Maldives tomorrow. And all this guy, I'm a speckle. I'm in my prime. You want to marry me or you don't want to marry me? I don't have time. If a woman marries you under that kind of pressure, what do you expect? Okay. Most of the things he did regarding the wedding was without my consent. If it was a problem back then, you should have said something. Down to invitation card. I didn't even get to see what the design looked like before it was printed. All right, so people with money tend to do things like this. You know, they might do things like that. They don't really see any bad in it. They just think they're covered, like you're my woman. I'll take care of you. But when you do that, make sure you back it up with emotional support, emotional intelligence. Make sure, because it can backfire. I know, because I can relate with this story small. You know, you have everything. She doesn't need to worry about anything. Okay, gotta be careful with that. You need everyone to be involved. If you are learning this before you make that move, you need everyone involved. People want to do, they say, what do you want me to bring? Anything you want to bring. You want to help us with this? What kind of budget are you talking about? Let everybody involve it. Like, that's all that macho stuff because you got all that money. You will just resent yourself later on. Okay? Now, some people are not privileged to know better until time. I was one of them, okay? But thank God I have a second chance at life. Let's continue. Most of the things he did regarding the wedding was without my consent, down to invitation card. I didn't even I only get to find out about stuff after it's been paid for. We had a fight that I told him that it seems it's his event planner he wants to marry. Isreal did not tell us all of this. But Ben, I'm at jail. Because I don't see your comment right now. I don't see your comments right now. Okay? Do you think she's making this up now? I doubt it. Okay, I can't say she's making it up since I don't think he made his own up, right? I can't do that. So it's his event planner he wants to marry because they're not carrying me along. Proceeding to the wedding, there was a huge turn up. Of course, Davido was there. Oga was there. It was elaborate. Was that what I even wanted? No, you should have said you didn't want that at the time. Okay, you should have said at that time you didn't want that. But I get it. It's overwhelming. You're a woman. You know, it's like you're gauging it. You're like, you know, this is your how do you call it? Your Prince Charming, you know, came to sweep you off your feet. He covers everything. So if anything, it's probably a confusing feeling at that time. I get it. Okay. That's why a man must keep that up, particularly on the emotional side of things. If he starts like that, he needs to keep it up. If you can't keep it up, if he's going to start to do sirigun and be asking you, you know, I do this for you, you know, I do this for you, yeah, everything will bafuka, it will end. It's the same way it ended like this. Okay? Why? Because emotions no be your mate. Eventually, something has to give. She said, was that even what I wanted? No. But Oga said, he's a public figure, people so he has to do it big. The white wedding. The wedding happened and the wedding day passed. Now see us see marriage. Now see us see marriage. He started showing up as his real self in full. No, all of that was his real self. Okay, he was excited. He didn't know any better. Right? He didn't know any better. He thought his money can buy happiness. Okay, that was his full self too. You just see finish, don't enter you now too, and you're seeing the full picture. And you're saying this, you know. See, the point I'm making here is this. I think it's full cap when people say people pretend. People pretend, they show their real self. No, you're a liar.
Stop the cap.
You're a liar. They show their real self.
Why the fuck you lying?
From the beginning. No, it's just you had unrealistic expectations. You think what they were is what they should be at 40 and what they should be at 50 and what they should be. No, there's no such thing. It doesn't exist. Change is inevitable. It's constant. You can call it evolution, devolution, a change. They pretended. But you need to understand this. It goes back to your expectations of human beings. Remember the second reasons why your relationships are failing? Because you think men are supposed to be God.
Not be juju be that.
People change. They evolve over time. Including you. The full self showed up. No. Your full sight came up. You can now see fully. You weren't seeing before. Stop the cap.
Stop the cap.
It's the finger pointing that's destroying these relationships. The finger pointing. Excessive finger pointing. That is what's destroying these relationships. You need to be clear about that. He rushed the wedding because he's spending on her ABD. She's not giving him kwekus. Yeah. So I don't know what he said. He wanted kwekus that bad. Is it that bad on those private jets behind those stages? You can't get small kwekus at the hotel, Transcorp, Hilton Hotel. I see. There's a part of this that I probably want to believe. He's a winner's chapel. He wanted to do the right thing. So let's find a virgin. Right? All of this comes down to lack of skills. He lacked game. And it's obvious because there's no man with game that jump on the internet and start dragging people. It doesn't exist. Okay? It doesn't make any sense. Okay? Anyway, let's continue here. She's telling a whole lot. The wedding happened and the wedding day passed. Now see like, okay, all right. So he will be traveling and asked me not to put on Jen. Not to go anywhere. Don't do this. Don't do that. He literally used the wedding to gather money for himself. He wanted massive support and he got it. What I expected from him as a wife was, baby, see what we got to. Wait till we go use them do. You two, your expectation is weird. Now, there's somebody here that just read there and said, she's a gold digger. Baby, see what we got. Wait till we go use them do. What? It wouldn't be a bad idea, but I don't know. It sounds like that's what she's... When you bring that up right now, it starts to look like that's what you were focused on. The money? Okay. Or see what I want to use them do. I don't think that's supposed to be anything. So even when he failed to do any of those, I overlooked. Okay, she says she overlooked. Not really, because she's talking about it now. Right? I overlooked, but let's talk about it now. I overlooked the 1.2 million naira phone, but let's talk about it now. You see, they're both liars, right? Okay, let's continue. We started having issues from November. I would tell him I'm going to the salon. When I get there, he would text me to not come back. The first time this happened, I thought it was a joke. Yet I hurriedly went back home because I was already living in fear. When your woman lives in fear, when you operate in fear, remember Anthony O'Neill, right? He said, I will be fearful. Like, even if you're right, okay? Even if you have a real reason to live in fear, right? The result of it is not good. Okay, we're not talking about the fear that motivates you to want to do better and make more money. No, we're not talking about that. Because lately I've been noticing people bring that in.
You think they're wise?
Into the conversation. No. If you're moving in a way that you're moving from a place of fear, or your move is making the other place operate from a place of fear, it's only a matter of time before they gain courage. It's 2023. They will leave you. Remember what Pastor Kingsley said. It's not functional. The functionality is off. It will go wrong. You have to love in a way that the other person feels free. And if you're the one feeling fear, and let's say there's a disconnect. Somebody said, oh yeah, but it's just them that's having the fear. I didn't put fear in our mind. Well, if you feel fear, let them go. If somebody is expressing that they have fear, you need to pay attention. They won't last. The harder you go, the harder you're going to fall. Why would you want to extend it if they're already operating in fear? It doesn't make any sense. Why? Because it's duty and responsibility. That's stupid. There's no longer duty and responsibility functionality. You need to fix that issue before you move forward. So she's living in fear. What do you expect? She said, I got home and the gate man refused to open gate for me. Say, Oga say, make he no open gate. Ladies, you get to your own house. You're married to a person. And the gate man is not opening the door for you. Is this a compliment? What does this look like? What would be the thoughts that will go through your mind in that situation? Now, even if you know that you were quite offensive before you left the house, which is not right. They're right. You're not right. Right? But it is what it is. You have two people collaborating for a lifetime. They will rub each other off the wrong way sometimes. Right? What would you do if that was you? I called him on phone. He said I should go back to where I am coming from. And there's a screenshot of the conversations here. I'm stepping out to where? Salon. She has receipts. Do you think you can keep better receipts than women? No, I'm asking. Gentlemen, you think you can keep better receipts than some of you can, I guess?
What beauty?
Do you think you can get better receipts than she has receipts? Let me show you. She has receipts. Look at this. Look at this. Check this out. She has receipts. Screenshots. Screenshots. It says, I'm stepping out to where? Salon. Why don't you tell me this morning before I was leaving? You go nowhere. Wait, men can't tell their wife you go nowhere anymore. Why do you want to tell your wife that? Why do you want to wait until it gets? Why would you even be in a space where you have to say you go nowhere to your wife? At that point, the issue is not going nowhere. Your issues are deeper. She will go somewhere. Oh wait, so she wants to go anywhere? No, that's not what I'm saying. Listen, the fact that you don't get what I am saying right now.
You get it? If you don't get it, forget about it.
All right.
I don't have any evidence. So.
We go explain because no evidence.
I don't have any evidence. I'm done. I don't have any evidence at this point. She wants to be included. Yeah. My guy did the math and it's not matching. He spent way too much on that Faji Kwekus. I better call you now. Where did you go? I was calling you now. But I've been. Listen, I think this is clear to us. I think we're getting a clearer picture of what happened here while we're both believing both of them. Because all they have to do is open their mouth and we'll believe them. That's all they have to do. I was outside the gate frustrated and ashamed. I called his dad and reported him. His father called me back to tell me that Isreal is insulting him. The father complained back to me. Because it's the money, it's the Oluomo of the family. Of course he will insult his father. Right? He's the one that's roaming around with the Oga, Davido. Undefeated. You can just predict their behavior. The father complained back to me. I asked my cab to start driving me around while I was calling him to ask gate man to open the gate. After the plenty calls from his dad, so imagine you're fearful for your life, the cab is driving you around, right? After the plenty calls from his dad and me, he finally instructed the gate man to open the gate. I took the walk of shame back into the house. When he got back home that day, I was so hurt. I could not take anything till the next day. I told him calmly that... No, you didn't tell him calmly. Stop the cap. Whenever somebody tell me, I told me calmly.
Stop the cap.
No, you didn't tell him calmly. Stop the cap. Stop it. The fact that you feel the need to say me that, yeah, right. Told him calmly. Anyway. Let me see. I'm trying to find where I stopped now. I could not say anything today. I told him calmly that no matter issue where we get, make outside no. Well, that's at this point common sense, but clearly it's not good enough for some people because when they get caught up in their emotions, all that flies out the window. That even if I did something wrong, come back inside and correct me. I explained how hurt and how embarrassing it was. He didn't say anything but apologized after some days. No one aside the people on the street and neighbors knew about this. I didn't know it was going to happen again and again. Say, why are we believing her? Listen. He said pure lies. I believe him too. How's that? Right? I believe him too. It is what it is. But it's believable. I believe her. How about that? Okay. Bite me. I believe her. Let's keep going. And again. But both the church and families got involved to resolve issues. Regularly, everyone, family kept saying, oh, you shouldn't be quiet on things like this. Always call us. Always talk to us. At some point, it stopped me from visiting my parents or my siblings from visiting. It's another receipts down here. There's receipts. Okay. What's our handle again? Maybe I can find a clear version of this receipts. That's Sheila Courage. Let's see if we can find it. Sheila. Urukonyibo. Let's see if we can find it. And we can find clearer version because I can't. My eyes is straining quite a bit. Wait, Sheila is a digital creator now. Host, influencer, speaker, lifestyle, fashion, beauty, hair, mental health advocate. She should just put she should put virgin there too. Well, she's no longer a virgin. Israel, don't take this girl's virginity. Hey yo. I can't find the post anymore. I can't find it anymore. She's now verified. She's an influencer. She's taking screenshots. Oh my God. Israel don't upgrade this girl. Israel is like, Molu Datele is no longer mine. Israel. Imagine if you could keep this girl to live a baby girl lifestyle. Imagine if you keep it and she can do a baby girl lifestyle and you could literally say, that's mine. She's mine. You could show up, cameo appearance every 6 months. Hello, influencer over here. This is the husband. And you can go inside again for another. Imagine that. It's too late, bro, because this girl will never trust you again. She's now a baby girl slave mama. Hey, see life. Oh, Israel, so sorry, Israel. This is too bad. She is doing baby girl lifestyle now. It's too late. It's too late. This is why I don't support virgin marriage at all. Man must choose before wedding. It's not about the virginity. The virginity has value for the people who do it the proper way. But that's not the prerequisite for a good wife. That's all. It's just not. Okay. Maybe in 1957. Okay. Maybe. But these days, a lot of the men asking for virginity, they never even seek Kwekus properly. Like his full day seek Kwekus, like observe and take time and say, explore. They're asking for virginity. It's like they will deceive you. They will deceive you. I'm a virgin. Shout out to Tenny. Brola, the boss, my guy Bobus now. He said it's calmly, Joe. No, it wasn't him that said the car. She was her. I was calling her car. It was her that said I said it calmly. I said calmly. This is Jack calmly. Even if it's a virgin marry, you suppose get sense. Marrying a virgin has nothing to do with controlling behavior. Exactly. They're not relevant. If she was walking, hey Adebusla, what's going on? If she was walking on eggshells, then she could have told him calmly. Yeah, but it's not calmly. You can. The idea is not necessarily the tone of the voice or the texture of the voice, right? It's that we can read through you even if you're infuriated, right? So let me come and tell you calmly, like, let's stop the cab. Calmly, busy about. Yeah. I'm a virgin. May God help us all. Only God would be able to. These days they tell you that is it hymen? Hymen don't break. Long time when they were riding bicycle, and you are there looking for virgin because you are focused on. Let's look. No, hymen don't break. We don't see blood for shit anymore. What did happen to the blood? You're focused on the wrong thing. It's no wonder why you will continue to collect.
You will end up in McDonald's.
Yeah, this girl is a babe now. Aji. Oh, no wonder Israel is going mad. Like, I did this. She's even wearing Fendi. Is that Fendi? Staycation. Somebody will look at this and this girl is a gold digger. She knew what she was doing all along. No, that's the same problem. You don't know how to discern. This girl is just another girl trying to be another girl. Okay, that doesn't mean she didn't try to do the right thing before. Okay, the same issue. The same reason why you fell for virginity fake. The same thing is what you're doing when you look at this picture and say, she must be a baby slave girl. She was just looking to rob all along. No, you have to be able to read between the lines of what they're saying here. Okay. And you have to be able to read between the lines and be able to say, you know what? Nah, they are both capping big time. Okay, they're two incompetent people that should not be touching marriage ever. At least not now. Not now. At least, okay. At least not now. Anyway, proceeding to the wedding, there was huge turnover. Okay, we already talked to that, right? The wedding happened and the wedding day passed. Now I see us. Okay, we already covered that. Okay, so she has receipts. All this receipts. I couldn't find the receipts. So now she continues. As bad as that went, I still shoved it aside. My sister had to leave my house late at night, and I was left in the house with his sister, who was staying with us at the time, before he finally chased her out on another occasion. Yeah, you're usually not the only one receiving, collecting woto from this kind of person. Their sibling will receive, their father will collect woto. Listen, I keep telling you, when people have bad behavior, it's not necessarily about you. So you need to be careful when you take it too personally. You can command, you can ask for, you can say, I demand certain types of respect, but just keep at the back of your mind small that this person is them. It's not really about you. So that you can save yourself the headache of thinking, because when you think something is about you, you build resentment, right? Oftentimes it's not. It's about them. If you just wait long enough, you will see them do it to somebody else. So he did it to sister, did it to father, right? There's something consistent here, right? Why would she need to lie that he did it to his own sister? If she really needs to lie, she just like, it's only me that he did it to, right? That's all she would say. Anyway. So he chased his sister out on another occasion, finally chased her out on another occasion, locked me out, and she opened the door for me at the instruction of the dad. I still didn't sleep in the house that night because he kept on threatening both me and the sister. I went to my parents' house. My parents brought me back that since he's not around, I can stay at least but I was scared. I ran. At this point, I was getting depressed. Everybody's complaining of depression now. Israel too was depressed. I believe them. Okay. I was literally living in fear. Another time in January, I was to attend one of my close friends' wedding. He knows how close I was to this person. And the very day she told me of our wedding, he knew how excited I was. He knew when I got Abebe. The day of the wedding reached, I woke up very early, served him, and did all I had. To that morning, when I was ready to leave the house, I met him to tell him I'm going to my friend's house. They need me for assistance and all. It was the trad, I guess. It started with what if I say make you no go? What if I say make you no go? As your husband, what if I say you can't go? I replied with, why you go say make I no go? He said, so you mean I don't have rights to tell you to say make you no go? Exactly. I knew that's what was going. Ask your husband. Right? Ask your husband. I can't tell you make you no go. Let me test my power here. I've been listening to Andrew Tate, and I want to test my power. I want to be a man. Let's see if she will respect me. Well, it's like you're testing yourself. You already know you're going to fail, but let me just drag myself for no reason and drag my wife along the line too. Why would you do that to yourself, right? So even if she chose to stay, can you imagine the product of a person you're going to get? Can you imagine that? Is that the person you want? The person you forced them to stay, you manipulated them, control, like you waited to the last minute. He said, you mean I don't have the right to tell you, say make you no go? I say you get to, but why you go say make I no go? All that makes sense. You will at least give me a reason. Me go come, no excuse to give, if at all. But just saying I shouldn't go for something, you know how these are Benin people for real. So something for something you know how I've been planning for months without any reason is unfair. He said, oh yeah, don't go. Oh yeah, don't go, okay. So because see and nobody me sorry. Like you know me, don't go. She won't say that. She's respectful. Remember, she was talking calmly, right? But in her mind, she's like,
Not be juju be that.
so make her no go. But I bet I see you. I'll come to you in a second. He said, oh yeah, don't go. I asked why. He say no reason. But if you come out for this house, no come back again. All right. So that's a man that couldn't express his feeling before long time. I've been there. We've all been there. You wanted to say something. You didn't want to hurt her feelings. You waited long enough. At one point, you're like, but I'm a man now. Let me exercise it. And then you collect. Right? How? Because no. But I have a wife that actually stayed. You're a liar. She stayed and showed you shaggy. I just stood for some minutes looking at him. Then I left to another room. I was so pained. So she actually waited. But didn't know what to do. And even say at this point, this man was saying all sorts of hurtful things to me unprovoked. Saying I can never amount to anything. Yeah. That the only thing about me, I say I be virgin. Over his dead body, will he start any business for me? Over his dead body, this and that. At this point, I was just in tears. When he walked out of the room, I quickly locked the door. He raised his voice higher, was talking and hitting the door. He kept on talking on for an hour. I'm not exaggerating. I had my first ever panic attack that day. I believe that. The moment I heard him walk away, I ran out of the house. He started calling and texting me that as I've gone, I shouldn't come back. I took it that whatever triggered him to be that pained that morning, knowing I did nothing to him, he go don't calm down. I came back to the house. The gate wasn't locked. I was happy only for me to see that the gate to our flat was locked. I called him that I was back. He finally came back and told me to leave. This time, no gate man. It was him by himself. I didn't go for the wedding. I wasn't fit anymore. I told him, if you're sending me out of the house, open door, make her carry my things. He refused that he would call me back another day to pack all my things out of his house. He called brands I was working with and threatened them not to do anything with me again. Sound like PDD. Some of them gave in out of fear. And even when I was asked what was happening, I couldn't say. The day he finally asked me to come and carry my things, he locked me inside the house. And that was the first time he hit me. That is an allegation. That is a heavy allegation, right? So that's why he was saying that I've never hit a woman before. Okay, that's the first time he hit me when I was struggling to go outside. Okay, so a lot of people will be struggling and tossing back and forth with people, and they will get hit in the face and they will say they hit them. Baba, no evidence. You go shalaye tired though. That's why you should never be in that space with a woman in the first place. Okay. I had to run to the kitchen and hold a knife. Jesus. To defend myself until police got involved. I ended up hurt. Started battling with chest pain, as that's the area I was hit. And a scene was created in the neighborhood. We were separated for a month after this incident. During this period, he accused my father of forcing him to marry me. Said my mom's place doesn't last in marriage. My mom has been married to my dad for 23 years now and counting. No previous marriage. He literally made issues with everyone until he made a U-turn and started begging. Yeah, they tend to kind of beg back and forth too. After a lot of back and forth, I didn't read it before, I promise, okay? After a lot of back and forth, we reconciled and went back to the house. We talked things out and literally begged that I don't want people to gather for our matter again. Every day, wahala, where we need gathering. A lot of people were not in support of the marriage. That was what I used to beg him to not prove everyone right. Yeah, I've seen that story before. That he's literally doing all that was said and predicted of him. I started a new business. I just want to finish reading it so I can talk to Brother Ben. I started a new business that he didn't support at all, not financially or otherwise, and it was something I discussed with him before I had the class. And when I was finally ready to start, He wasn't willing to assist. I didn't want to wait or make an issue out of it if I started with what I had. When a woman starts to do this around, you already lost them. You lost them long time ago, right? What's long time ago? Well, at least half of the last a year and change that they've been together, right? From this point, I started talking to him about getting a land. Inside marriage, I got to understand so many things and started speaking on it. I'm not a girlfriend at this point, so I'm seeking for growth on all ends, bringing all suggestions on things he could do with his influence. We all know that both entertainment and the media at large isn't sustainable, especially when you are not the craft. It's from one excuse to another, and I'm wondering, you don't spend money on me? He has complained severally that I don't ask for anything. I'm like, so what are you using money for? When you know day, I understand. But when you day, what do you spend on? I can't see anything, and we can't continue like this. I sincerely wasn't comfortable with him not doing anything substantial. It makes sense. Just because it's Davido'S Aide doesn't mean he always has money. Okay? Peddling on all other issues that I was gradually adjusting to, at every slight opportunity, this man goes all out to insult my mom for no reason. Offense, Nasir Amari, do you really believe it's the first time he will insult his mother just because he's our boss right now? No, it's not the first time. It's not the first time. This man started accusing me of taking pills to not get pregnant. Someone cannot pee. The first time he brought it up, we talked about it. I assured him I wasn't. Oh, taking pills, okay, to not get pregnant. I was like, pissed, Jesus Christ. Okay, that I have no single reason to express how unhappy I was about the acquisition in the best way possible. Okay, this is the best way thing again, the calm way. They were arguing. It's not calm. They were arguing. Very toxic arguments, okay? That's how I nearly turned lab rat, doing series of tests to prove I'm okay, just to satisfy him. Nobody hear him. He met my mom to tell her I'm taking pills. Met my dad and said same thing. He wasn't sure of himself. When a man is not sure of himself, the results are going to be terrible, you know. I was having a shoot on the said day, and he kept on texting, insulting me and saying all manner. When he finally aired out he wasn't comfortable with influencing, I should get an office job. Of course it's not comfortable. I was working at an FM already. He said a job, blah blah. I said, okay, if you want me to stop influencing, set up business for me. I go stop him. You make me doing it, no me say I know if he stop him. If I get another thing to focus on, he turned it to a joke and say, no, influencer continue, carry go, nah, no wahala. I knew obviously this was to avoid establishing anything, but I'm like, okay, whenever you want me to bring out money, make I start business. He organized a meeting with my parents and myself to still bring up the pills matter. I was upset because we talked about it as husband and wife, but involving my parents on the thing like this, I felt was totally unnecessary. My parents stepped in and said, since it's an issue of concern, let's run tests. If it's a health challenge, we know what to do. If it's spiritual challenge, there's nothing God cannot do. That was when I opened up that I've been doing tests already. They advised we both to do tests, as the challenge can be from anywhere. And this is the part that he said, pure lies. Do you truly believe these are all pure lies? I don't think so. All right. So then he said, she now said, if I go to the hospital just to drop blood sample without him, he will come to my office, pick me up and insult me to and fro. Results were out and my results came out okay. I only had a high level. Something that generates milk, I think. But the doctor said that was okay and gave supplements to be taken. His was out after he made a whole show and dragged doing the test and messed up the first result. And till I insisted that I must be at the hospital with him when he's taking it. I had a panic attack due to shock of something he was telling me. I collapsed helplessly on the floor and this man couldn't even lift me from the floor. He was calling my parents and left me to go and buy fuel. My mom was the one that carried me from the floor and cared for me till I felt better. He left me. We quarreled all the way back home. At some point, I broke down in tears. When we got home, I left him and went to go and apologize to my parents on his behalf for the insult and unwarranted disrespect. Then I returned home. He stopped talking to me, wasn't talking to my parents, would travel and not tell me. This became more like a norm. I found out about his activities through his status. Not to talk about how he cares not about the expenses of the house. He would only give when he needs to show off. My decision was an accumulated one, as usual. Abusing me is one thing, but extending it to my parents is a whole different thing entirely. For my own sanity, I left the house. In my head, as of then, is let's reset again as we've been doing. But the extent this man went, I cannot forgive myself to live in such environment. I cannot be with someone that speaks love but shows wickedness in every way possible. See, they're both calling each other wicked, right? Now, who I go ask? I'm calling my friend a certified prostitute. Even if she's not my friend, calling anyone that's a very low. But then, you missed about verified prostitute. Ginika. But then, what else can be thrown at a woman? I pray God blesses us with friends, but that can stand with us both spiritually and otherwise in times of need. God bless you, Ginika, and I'm sorry you're entangled in this mess. Now, here we are, and I repeat, I'm not going to throw a pity party. This man is cooking a narrative to gain sympathy, serving lies. This is all coming from a place of strength. Shalom. All right, there you have it. And I guess Davido wanted to chime in. Davido said something to the effect of speak when necessary. The words carry more value than. Papa, what are you talking about? All right, so she continues here. She says, I sincerely apologize to any or everyone that my decision on how to go about this doesn't sit well with. This apology is for people I respect, my parents, topping the list, and every other person. Now, to all of you that are being mad in my DMs, just get lost and stay away from what you know nothing about. Everybody don't collect. Everybody don't collect. Listen, let me see here. I don't want to leave my brother behind the scenes much longer. Brother Ben, how far? How you doing?
Oh, Mr. Ola, go ahead. I did hear they enjoy you. You know where I go day by this time now.
Okay. Make her finish him. Okay.
No, I love my brother.
All right. So if anything happens to me and any member of my family, Isreal should be held responsible. Going to my mom's shop to beat her up. You won't kill Peking, kill Mama join. This isn't even something to be quiet about at this point. Nigerian police forces. It's messy. I was going to post this just yesterday. I held back because aside involving the police, I reached out to someone I believe could reach him and could act on it. I said make a note forward so I don't get the, you shouldn't have brought it online, yada yada yada. This man carried boys to harass my mom at our shop. You see, this is lack of self-respect. This is how men with no self-respect, this is how they move. Okay? I'm not here to run your whole story of what went down and what has been going on. The only thing Isreal can brag about and still brags about is the online publicity he has given me that is undisputed. Okay, so she acknowledged it. She's now a slay mama on the internet. A lot of you only got to know me during the wedding. Have I always been in the social media space though? Yes. I've been a 2 times beauty queen and had brands I was working with already. Was my mother even married to anybody before my dad? No. Did anybody deceive Isreal? No. Instead, it's the man that deceived the whole family, especially my father who took a genuine likeness to him. My papa no be Otedola, but we are comfortable enough for him to be training 2 of my siblings in renowned private universities, running businesses and paying every bill that needs attention without begging. Must I add that I'm from a well-respected family, and this man is hell-bent on painting my family what it's not. Adams, Oshomele, and my dad are first cousins, for crying out. Oh, they're birds of the same feather. We don't need to know all that. Okay, let's continue. So, me and my family are cooking for a poverty alleviation plan, and even if it cannot be Israel. This man saw me for the first time while I was on outreach, which beforehand I never knew of his online presence. He asked for my number, which I refused to give, but took it instead and never called him, only dropped it off at the follow-up unit. After which I traveled that very day and wasn't back till the next week, and this man, they find me up and down until it got to my dad. He carried all kind of certificates from church claiming to be born again. That is different. Blah blah. My father fell for it because he's our church member and he has done his and that. That every day he told my father that he wanted to marry me. In fact, even before he met my dad, he told the person that helped him get to my father that he wants to marry me. Both the phone and the generator he collected from my mom yesterday was immediately replaced by my dad. Mr. Nice Guys! Mr. Nice Guys, I told you, you gotta watch for those people. They collect everything back.
Sorry.
They collect everything back. Wow, you've been biased. You believe this story? Yes, I do. Sorry. Bite me. Everything Israel ever did, he was never asked or coerced. He just always thinks doing all these little things will cover up his demonic attitude. You can drag me to the mud and back, make her for lock up, but you don't get to do that with my family. You don't. Clearly, you don't value yours, but you know how much I value mine, and in extension, how I value your own family too, as I've taken them as mine. And anybody way they do, you can handle this better when you reach your turn. Do it as you like. When you reach your turn. When your parents, especially your mom, is being constantly abused by your supposed husband, when you're being locked out of your own matrimonial home for no reason, when you're physically and emotionally abused, when you're constantly threatened, when your mental health is on zero, when you have series of panic attacks, when you're accused of taking pills to not get pregnant, when you're deprived of doing anything, when you marry a man that gives no account of how the money realized from your wedding was spent, or how much it be at all. I see what I use and do. When you marry a man that all you want for is the best, but if he is the weapon fashioned against you, when you marry a man that all you want for is the best, but he's the weapon fashioned against you, when you marry a man that doesn't want to be productive, and when you try to push and encourage him, you're controlling him, and in them, they control Edo man. When you experience your own, do as you like. Lastly, I think she's done lastly about 50 times now. Lastly, I never had an issue with him serving his boss. As a wife, I wholly told my husband to get something doing, get a business running, start building a legacy, gave him countless ideas on things he could possibly do. I just wanted him to have something going on for himself, which his family fully supports, as it concerns. It's a concern to everyone. And then Pokoli did answer say they know they put mouth for husband and wife matter, but how we go do this one now? Wedding where I attend with joy, see how una pay me back. But I bet make me yajari. Come forward.
Mr. Ola, you shouldn't have brought that Pokoli comment into this.
You have to finish with laughter now. I've been laughing for since though.
Now you don't mess me up now with that Pokoli on, because even me, I want to collect my data that I use in monitoring that wedding online.
Oh, you were monitoring it? I don't follow him like that. I know it was trendy at the time. Yeah.
Oh, it's crazy, Mr. Ola. Basically, this matter, both Israel and the wife, they are all childish, and I think, let me just say, they are just cashing cruise. they don't even have a clue what marriage is all about. It's just my sincere take. I've read the whole thing, although I didn't go deep like you did, because once I see some of these silly posts online, I will just zone out.
You could just laugh and just zone out.
Yeah,
this is
like,
content.
see
At
this,
least I go come and read them here. Yeah, you're right. I do zone out too. I do zone out. Like, this is for the Prestige family. Let me save. We will come back to this one. Yeah.
So, I don't even know where to start from. But basically, let me just say one or two things regarding Israel.
Right.
And I'm sorry for any of my Edo people that might be watching this. I just have to be frank with you guys. I have a lot of Edo friends, both way back in Nigeria and even here in United States. And I can say without favor, of course, you know, they always support my gender, but the level where they support my gender reach, I can say everything the girl said about Israel character.
Right.
I think she's right up to 80%, because that is a typical character of Edo men.
Really?
Yes, I'm sorry to say. And that's why I put that up front first. It's not like maybe it's generic to Edo people alone. No. It's the same.
But they have it.
Yes, but you can tell that this is like a trend among them when it comes to behaviorally. A lot of Edo guys that I know, they behave like that. You know, I don't want to call it controlling. It's the man in them. It's just like we Yorubas. We have limits too. We have some things we don't tolerate. Forget civilization, forget Western culture. We, the Yoruba guys, we still have some things that no matter how educated we are, don't just go there.
So the Ondo people have Agidi, but the Agidi people will finish you with English. The Abeokuta people, I'm not sure what their own stereotype is, but I hear you, bro.
Exactly. So what Israel wife is describing as far as their wedding, his behavior after the wedding and everything, she is, to me, 80% correct. Okay? And like I said, it's because I know a lot of Edo people do behave like that with their woman. Edo men are controlling. And I'm not saying this with disrespect. I'm saying it like, as a man, we are all controlling. Nigerian men generally. Now, when we come to this Western world, and then civilization and all that, and then depending on the kind of woman that you marry, and individual differences in terms of the man that we turn out to become, some of us just feel like, okay, you know what? I think this controlling thing is a thing of the past. We can actually have better way of dealing with our wife than telling her, do this, do that, do that.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? But some people are stuck in that ancient mindset.
They can't see past it. Yes.
Yeah, they can't see past it. So I'm not blaming them. I'm not saying this in a negative way, but Edo men are controlling. And they have the right to be. If you have to look at how their tradition works, the role of women and the role of men. A lot of Edo men, just like many of we Nigerian men, we believe that we have to take care of our wife. We have to go out there, hustle, make money, take care of the wife, and then the wife should do as we said, which is what used to be obtainable in Nigeria. So in this their case, I'm just saying this just to buttress the fact that I'm not disputing a lot of the things the girl said.
Right.
Because by the time I come to defend him now, I know my sister Chinye is watching, and probably Sister Natu and all the Prestige family.
You just collect.
before now spank my butt. Make I just say it up front now. So I do believe what the girl is saying. Now, regarding how they met and everything, I think if I still have to go by what I understand as far as Edo men and women is concerned, Israel simply follow the popular part of let me marry fine girl. I'm in the league now I'm living the jet life with Davido and the rest of the big boys.
Right.
So let me look for a very beautiful girl to marry. Yeah, she has to be like when they see my wife, everybody go bow. You know, that was it.
Especially a virgin. Especially a virgin.
Then too, if you are in that circle, if in fact, I don't know if you have ever mixed up with guys in the music world and the movie industry.
No,
Their
underground.
lifestyle-
Maybe my underground. Yeah, underground.
No, their lifestyle is nothing to write home about. That's why I do laugh when I see people who examine them from on the screen, who kind of dream for them because they see them on the screen and they laugh. I've been into production for a long time now. I've worked in hotel and I've have one or two things in the music industry. I don't sing or something, but I have friends, DJs who play for all these guys. And if you see the life they live, bro, if a singer come to ask for your daughter hands in marriage, brola, you go say no, say you know what. If you have seen what we know about them,
right.
Are you feeling me now?
Right.
So,
the same thing we are talking about, this whole Pop Daddy thing now. Same thing.
And there is something about these guys in the entertainment industry. They don't want to marry the kind of girl they mess with in the industry.
Yes, now. So they'll be looking for innocent virgin.
Exactly. So when it is time for them to get married, they simply look around and start searching for that clean babe. The babe when they believe that this girl don't have the street experience, she don't do all this, no crack,
she will
no
stay at home,
no drink. She's a calm girl. That's who they are looking for. Now that's what's happening to Israel. You guys read now. The guy went all the way looking for a virgin. Who they look for virgin? Who virgin help?
Can you imagine? Really? Oh, what virgin? Oh Lord, it was so obvious. That's what he started his talking points with. Now
that's crazy. So now because he hears said the guy in a virgin, he'd be like, oh, because me, I don't understand it. And I'm gonna say right here, Brola,
right?
As me, I did like this. Even if I have to marry again, I know they do virgin. You know, go walk.
You know what virgin?
I go break that.
Why now? Why? Why you don't want virgin?
I don't want to. Which virgin? Any virgin that is older than 20 years old is a zero as far as I'm concerned.
It's ironic, like Bolorino.
Most of them is older. Any virgin older than 20 years old, no, don't just cut me out. I ain't doing it. So coming to this guy now, he went to look for a virgin and then spend all this money, according to him, polishing the guy, doing everything. And this girl, if we have to go by what she said so far, Mr. Ola, this girl is a good digger. She knew what, immediately she saw Israel coming, knowing that Israel has close connection with Davido, the girl already know what she wants. Now, I am not saying she's a bad girl, honestly speaking, because my thing has always been that how a woman turns out after marriage largely depends on how the man treats her. That has always been like my own mindset.
Okay.
Because once you're married to a girl, how you treat her, how you talk to her, how you present yourself, how you deal with her, and so many things determines who she becomes in that marriage. So I'm not saying maybe the guy set out to be a bad girl or something. I don't even see her as a bad girl yet, because I just see two opportunists jam each other.
Right.
Opportunists jam opportunists.
It seems promising. It's promising.
So I believe, not to waste your time, my brother, I believe
you're good, bro. You're good.
Israel wanted a Christian, calm, religious girl that he's going to marry, and because that 30 BG money is flowing, he believed the guy is supposed to be a stay-at-home wife, be a responsible wife. I want to show to the rest of the guy in the industry that he actually married a decent woman and all that. But here you are, a woman you want to keep and expect her to behave like this Christian decent wife. You yourself, on impulse, you are telling her that, what if I ask you not to go? Because I was listening to you when you were reading that part when she said, maybe she wanted to go and visit somebody, and Israel just say, "What if I ask you not to go?" And that little thing turns out to be a whole drama completely.
Yep, it was drama. The whole street, everybody was answering to it.
You see, so my thing is this: no matter how a man thinks he's taking care of a woman, no matter how you provide for a woman, the moment you start disrespecting her with your utterances, commanding everything, one day her eye go tear.
Yes,
and when her eye tear, you know, you see the way Israel is ranting all over social media like a madman, and he can't believe it. Because definitely, when he met this guy played the innocent role for him.
Right.
The guy play him, say,
that's why he's saying, they're both saying it. That's why he's saying, she suddenly changed. She said it too. He suddenly changed, like, no, this is both of you deceive yourself.
They are just opportunists. That's what I see in right here. And then one other thing, one other mistake I think Israel made too, because I'm not gonna talk much on the girl. Like I said, how you treat a woman determine what you give her, and she go carry give you.
Women multiply. Women will multiply you. Basically.
Make I tell you one quick joke, bro.
Tell me, I beg. Tell me.
my son was boxing me on Thanksgiving Day. The guy was like, "Daddy, wake up! It's Thanksgiving. You have to get up." I didn't get up. So at the point, this guy was punching me on the bed. And my son is almost 8 years old. The punches are so hard. So with that annoyance, when I get up, the guy ran upstairs. So I went to my wife in the kitchen and I'm like, "Babe, see what you cause now. I carry gentle boy give you. See what you produce give me." This
see.
boy, they take blow, they wake me.
Moto that ni. Amiti baba ni. Eti oda. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
So my brother, the thing is, what Israel gave to this guy is what the guy is dishing back to him. And coming back to finding all these girls in Nigeria. I do tell guys, because you know I do connection on the side. People do reach out to me. "Oh Ben, if you see man, or if you see girl," and then we'll talk. One of the things I tell guys is this: when you see a girl, by the time you met that girl, the girl is using, let's say, iPhone 13, which is about 750k as back in Nigeria. The guy is living in a flat, and you check, she doesn't have a reasonable job. In fact, you can't match her income with the kind of life she's living. And now you step in that you want to marry her. Don't you see the red flag there already?
Yeah.
Is that not a red flag?
It is.
Now, the same thing goes to a man who finds a woman.
For you, in fact, I will even go further and say you are the red flag. If you can't see, you become the red flag. You know me, it's self. Yeah, you become the red flag now. If you can't see that far, you know.
So the thing is, it's just so crazy. It's like a lot of these guys, when they go to Nigeria to marry, for instance, they will see a girl who is probably a graduate, but she's out of job, although she's looking good. And then because they want to marry her, you start upgrading her. And guys will fail to realize this.
You have to be very, very careful with that.
When you are upgrading a woman, you are simply moving her from the class you found her to a new class, a higher class.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm not making sense,
No, you're making sense. You're making sense.
You are the expert, but
so you have to be prepared. You have to be prepared for, you have to manage your expectations around that. So so it won't be like, oh, it's a surprise. Like, I'm not saying you shouldn't do anything for girls. In fact, that would be terrible. But you should manage your expectations around that situation, because you go from 60,000 naira phone to 860,000 within a year. When I just married. No, 1.2 million. Change it twice. 1.2 million naira phone. And like I said in the beginning, if you are going to come back and serial gun later on, maybe you are the red flag yourself. Because honestly, it's like no wonder. Like how much have you been telling her, this is what I did for you. I did this for you. I did this for you. If that means you don't feel solid in that situation. You don't feel safe. Why are you staying in that situation?
Yeah, the whole thing is kind of messy. Now you upgraded the girl, and I'm not blaming the girl, to be candid. I don't blame the girl, and here is another reason why I don't blame the girl, Mr. Ola.
Okay.
This girl is a smart girl. I listened to when you were reading what she was saying about how she was advising her husband to do something tangible for his life, create a legacy, blah 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 blah. You can tell she's smart. This girl see the opportunity that
he saw the opportunity. You are connected to Davido. We can build a life for ourselves. So, and now you're start to move mad, and so and then you are controlling on top of all that. Could it last now?
That is it, Miss Ola. And the worst thing is that because of ego, Israel is not seeing the sense. I mean, the opportunity in what his wife was saying then. Israel is not saying it. I think his ego is probably telling him that, will you shut up? What do you know? How could you, me that I marry you now, you want to tell me how to live my life? What I should be doing?
What do you know?
I don't get it. This is where some of us are a little bit different. Because if I'm in his shoe, what I would do is ask the girl, babe,
right?
Okay, when you talk, say I create legacy now. How you want my go about? Okay, just tell me first. This is where I engage her in conversation, and before you know it, a girl like this will show him more than 4 opportunities that he can create around that Davido influence.
Yeah, because you know why? You know how that's actually even more true. As individuals, there's only so much you can see. Other people, I'm bossy, how much more your wife can see more than you can see. That's 2 heads is better than 1. That is not a negative thing in the grand scheme of things. But again, like you said, she's a very sharp girl. She's a smart girl. For her age, she seems like she's 20 or 21 or something. Right? That's a person that you can, quote unquote, safe word, groom. To actually become your special advisor.
Thank you.
You have access to all of these relationships. Everybody is going to keep looking at you as, that's probably clouding your judgment, as the aide, as the hype man of Davido. But she can probably see that you are a hype man. Good. Clap for yourself. You know, be slave. What about this? We can take advantage of this. And now you turn around, you come on the internet and come and tell us that she's calling you a slave. Do
you even know that hyping he's doing, he can actually create a gig out of it, doing it, and people will be paying him millions to hype them. People like hyping. Let me give you an example. If you go to Daddy Freeze platform, a lot of guys that come to Daddy Freeze platform, it's not because of the story that the Freeze is saying, it's because they want to give him gift, they want to give him star, so he can just hype them.
The hype, yeah. And there's a guy called I think Special I forgot his name, something about, or Special, I guess his name. He's a hype man for Davido. He's Davido's cousins as well. One big guy with beards like that. He also used to hype for, he was actually in the industry before Davido, but he's Davido's cousin. And he's also he was hyping for D'banj during the heydays of D'banj, although he was dragging with somebody online recently with some business. All of these guys have side things they do. That's my point, because they have access. They have access to money, power, relationship, all this kind of stuff. So if that's what she was saying, I don't see the negative in that. She was, because she admitted to it.
He's just way. The guy just can't see beyond his nose. That's how I can put it. That's just his problem. Now, you see, when I read everything he said about his wife, the only takeaway I see there was when he kept saying, now she used me to become influencer. She used me to become popular, blah, blah, blah. You married to a smart girl. What else can that girl get out of you than being popular? And
exactly.
The guy she's leveraging that opportunity.
Imagine all of this happening right now. She would have been useless.
Brother, you deserve 1 bottle of Guinness.
Right? She would have been useless now. I mean, at least we can go to her page, seeing that she's doing her own slave mama thing. Small.
Yeah. Some of our guys know they smart. Wallah. If Nami get this kind of opportunity, and the guy even they sharp where she likes social media. So now to go begin they do couples go with her. I go tell her, babe, this channel where we don't monetize. Let's have one joint.
No man now. No man now.
We go dey create the money. If you no one come gree make we share the money, na there war go start.
If you don't share money, we go share the influence. One of the two. We go share something. So that's why that's why I said any advice I give here or anything that seems like an advice, don't take it as religion, because there are exceptions. Like, for example, she came out and said something and I went to her page. If she didn't come out and say something, I wouldn't go to her page, right? And we can see that she's running some kind of business too, influencer, whatever. I can give that girl small $100. She will make noise about my platform.
Thank you.
Right? So now we know she's up to something. I just say be guided. Make sure you're doing all of that within control environment. If you're caught up in your feelings and you want to drag, like, Israel is not getting anything out of this. Right?
No,
outside of looking like a fool.
Backfire. My brother, man of Prezi, you know that. That's why I like you. You always say it the way it is. The thing backfire. That's just it, Baba.
Yeah.
He backfire. He thought, okay, I'm just gonna run this guy down, say everything. But it was just like what I was saying when I started. When I said, I'm not trying to disrespect my Edo people.
The Edo people.
This is more like a Edo thing. You see, a lot of Edo guys don't realize that life has moved on. The world has changed. The relationship. What?
You know, the thing is that, Brother Ben, our second viral moment on this platform was given to us by a fellow Edo brother. Can anybody put his name in the chat? Anybody can put his name in the chat. He's been dragging me at Daddy Free's platform, me and Auntie B, since then. Right? He tried to control a narrative and he got dragged woto in these streets. So he's been trying to. So when you say that, I have experience that can make me also tag on to that generalization, right? But it's called stereotype. It's okay, you know. But like you said rightfully, as Nigerian men, we need to push back against ourselves in terms of controlling behavior. Okay, yes, yeah. APC Bishop. His name is APC Bishop. If you don't know who APC Bishop, he gave us our first viral moment.
I don't know him, but I think I heard about him.
A fellow Edo brother, trust me. So when it comes to this will be Israel will be maybe a circle who will try to control the narrative, jump into the internet and control narrative and realize that social media no be your mate. Don't do that. Yeah. You know, social media go drag you and the real truth will come out. You know, and now you go use your own mouth to tell us. That's the funny thing about it. You know,
everybody when they go analyze the whole situation now.
Yes, so. But we're learning from this, Jare, my brother. That's all it is. Yeah. Yep.
It's yes, just sir. Crazy, man.
All right, so we look forward to having your session. Brother Ben is going to be hanging out with me as my guest on December 17th or 16th, one of the two. We will announce it when they get closer. So Brother Ben is going to be hanging out with me. So everybody look forward to that, you know.
Oh, it's my pleasure, Baba.
Yep. All right, bro. We'll talk soon.
All right, thank you.
And thanks for your help so far. See, you notice I stepped up, right, on Facebook?
Of course, I see that. Don't worry, they are coming. Right. The soldiers will come.
We're working. All right, bro. Talk soon.
All right, brother.
All right, yeah. All right, that's my brother Ben. Shout out to him. Let me read a few chats before let's end it. We're gonna end this in the next few minutes. Hey, Shio Mama, my sister, how are you? How are you doing? So that's one of my biggest supporters here. I appreciate you for being here. Thank you so much. Who virgin help? I bet no more virgin. He doesn't want a virgin. Adebusola, good to see you today. Always a pleasure. The exchange is balanced. Something has to give. However, the girl does not feel safe and secure in that marriage. Yeah, most women cannot handle that. That's too much, right? If a man will get sense, jam a sensible babe, you will excel. That's a fact, you know. At the end of the day, you know, two heads are better than one. But so we just need to learn how to nurture our relationships. When we're in a funk, it's very easy to tag on to the negatives, right? That's when the work is required of you. Like, sit down, identify all the positive things about this person, and then start from there. It doesn't mean you shouldn't address the bad stuff, but when you address it from a standpoint of identifying what is good about them first, you will do it in a more healthy way. You will be much more balanced, and you create a better balanced result. And that's gratitude. And you know what they say about anybody no arimiba. That's just the way it works, right? If you feel abused at any level, just check out. Just back off of that situation and take some time off for yourself, because your feeling is valid, and we don't know how far you've gone with feeling that way. So slow down. It will benefit the other person too. When you slow down, you back off of that situation before you move forward. But if it's just tussle back and forth, you feel like it's funky, you feel like you could something could be better, identify all the positives first, because there's a good chance that if you're a normal human being like the rest of us, your brain will continue to tag on to the negatives only. Okay, so just keep that at the back of your mind. Show Mama said, is a quote, I guess, "Don't tell me what to do syndrome is what many of our Nigerian men lack." Okay, I assume it's part of the game that is lacking in some of our men, according to my learning from Ola. Yes, shout out to you. It's game. Because if you have game, you understand that life is a moving target. So you adjust. You don't just hold on to like, I'm in control. You just lose your mind, because you can't control human beings. It doesn't work. Okay. Shout out to you, Shea Mama. It takes a real man who knows his worth. Tokumbo, you have to pay for that name. It takes a real man who knows his worth. To reason well with their wife. Insecure, people pleaser, low self-esteem men are so shallow-minded. Shout out to you, Tokumbo. We have to pay for sharing my name. Okay, you have to pay for that. Thanks for stopping by. He came out to shame her, and it backfired badly. At least here, because we can see through the BS, right? Yeah. So APC Bishop, my guy. Yes, so Tokumbo again says, honestly, Shea Mama, our men needs more training about women. No one is in competition with them but themselves. It's a struggle. We're gonna get there. You know, I can gladly tell you that when we started this platform, I'm gonna refresh right now and tell you, okay, there's a lot of men behind the scenes that you just seen one of them, but but there are also many of them that support greatness, always stop by every now and then, and many that just leave comments every now and then on the show. We're working very hard to make sure that men are learning game. I am happy to tell you that in this moment in time, our female, okay, 49%, male 51%. I'm happy to tell you that. Now, this is just in November, all right? Yeah, I think that's November data. Where we're coming from, we were coming from male 25%, female 75%, okay? And I'm learning too, okay? There's a certain level of empathy that men want me to apply when we're having this conversation to them, okay? I don't want to go too far, okay? Because I believe that strong men, competent men are built from pressure. So they will continue to collect. But I can adjust small so they can receive the necessary message, okay? I can adjust just small, you know. But to me, I'm actually looking at that for the first time. That's a good news. 49%. I like it to be 50-50 ideal, but I like it to just dance around that. I want everybody to learn, right? You know, but that goes to show you that we're going somewhere, okay? So men are coming around, they're learning, you know, and I'm getting messages behind the scenes as well. You know, so I want to say thank you to everyone who is sharing. If you're sharing the platform, you're helping us get the words out there. You're helping, you're helping. We will all benefit from it. A society of angry men is not what we want. A society of incompetent men is not what we want, okay? Because I believe that everything has a downstream effect on women and children, right? So we need our men, and when the devil, whatever that is attacking the family, it attacks men. It doesn't attack men in the way it looks obvious, where it's like, oh, all these women are just giving us the wrong babies. No, it attacks men from a blind spot. All the men will start to operate from a very weak and fearful place, and basically the devil will take over. That's the way it works, right? So we have to be very, 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 very careful as we address some of these very sensitive issues. But as it stands, it remains the same. Okay, there are 3 reasons why people's relationships suck these days. There are 3 reasons. Okay, it's unmanaged expectations, unmanaged pride, and lack of game. That's it. No more. In a video yesterday that I released intentionally yesterday, I call it "You're a Narcissist." I said, what's the second one? I said, you think a man is supposed to be God. It's not, right? That's stupid. And then the third one is that you don't know shit. And the older you get, the more you learn about this whole thing called game, you find out that I really didn't know anything. More so, you don't know yourself until you find yourself in the middle of crisis, right? And that's why I said, don't put it on hold. Let's get in the game right now and start learning as we go. We're building the plane as we fly it. We're getting better. I'm getting better as I have these conversations, So I want to say definitely thank you to everybody for stopping by today. Today is Saturday, the 25th of November. I'll be back again in due time. I'm dropping tons of videos. You shouldn't watch any of this video just one time. Watch it at least 2 or 3 times. I'll give you more than enough opportunities to watch them 1, 2, 3 times, because every time you listen to it, you learn something new. Don't take them as religion. Let it help you process. Give some pushbacks. Process it. Have your own insights. Come up with what works for you, right? But you're learning about how other people think, other people's perspectives, right? And that's how you get better in life, because at the end of the day, we're social beings, we're emotional beings. You don't live in a cave, all right? You have to interact with other people, so you might as well learn the game. It is a game. Life is a game, and the ones that win are the ones who learn how to play it, okay? It's not a joke, it's a game. It's 2 different things, okay? So you think life is a joke? No, it's not a joke. It's a game. You need to learn it, okay? And women, you too, you need game. You need game, okay? Because every man has something they care about. For as long as they have something they care about, that means you have power. If they stop caring about life altogether, you're right. At that point in time, we're probably going to catch them and lock them away for life. But if it's just me and you argue against each other, they have something they care about. Can you hear it? You can't? Okay, that could be one of the skills you need to learn. How to listen actively to your partner so that you can give. Because you should only go into a relationship to give. You go into a relationship to give. Yes, I know. Not give and take. No. Give. All right? All right? You go there to give. What about taking? Give to yourself. Go into the relationship and go and give. Okay? That's all I have for you on this particular episode. All right? I appreciate you. Hopefully, you've been enlightened and educated. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.
Beautiful girl, spoiling everything. I find a beautiful girl.
It's your love that I've been missing. I miss all your hugs, your touching and kissing. Make love on the floor, the couch in the kitchen. One loving up, we done enough.